before we get started, I want to give my best wishes to for the recent event. I want a moment of silence in which, as of today, I found out Larry King, who has been known for a lot of night shows, he passed away today of lung cancer. He was like 87 years old. I do wish his family the best, and on that note, we hope that we can. At this point, I'm in a bit of a brain fart here, but yeah. So the best wishes out there, and Larry, you have been a great man in our lives. We will never forget you. So So on that note, welcome to another edition of GoldenFox podcast. And as you can see on the left side of the roster here, we have a big party tonight. Holy shit! So from top to bottom, we for the first time ever, we have Aeon of Dreams.
Hello, dearies.
Next is DuskFlare.
Hello.
Galaxy. Galaxy.
Hi. Hello.
She thought you were still on the be quiet part.
It was like, for a second there, I was thinking, like, do you have a mic problem or something? Anyways, Lightning Bliss once again.
My parents called. So, yeah.
All right, anyways, Lightning Bliss?
Understand.
Who? Where?
You. The small alicorn.
You? Boy!
It's the fucking truth. Don't get all pissy about it.
You know what? I'm older than you. Boom.
I'm still taller, bitch.
Bitch, I'm older!
Next up, we have I hope I'm saying it right. Marietably for the first time in this podcast. I can't
Beautiful.
get her face. Anyways, Murray.
Hi, I haven't slept yet.
Marie.
We just call her Marie.
We have
Marie.
Yeah, next we have MasterCode. I don't know if MasterCode has been on this podcast before.
I'm pretty sure.
Hello, it's me, everyone's super awesome ace analyst, everyone's favorite reviewer of all time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, go suck a dick, dude.
You. That's Bird.
And last but not least, we have Ryley Percival Miller.
The cheater of golf.
Yay!
Oh, I'm sorry.
You cut out there for a second.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you can 3-time winner against a small alicorn.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And that was without using enhancement.
Karma speaks for itself. The internet's cutting you out because it knows you cheated!
Bliss, at least you weren't in last place like I always am.
You chose to be in last place. You didn't have to do all those yeets, but no.
I had to
you just
yeet.
had to. No, you didn't have to. You chose to.
It must be done.
It must be done. I shall
You
tell you
chose
the way
to.
later.
Whatever, you made a choice.
Soon.
This is the way.
Killing me with your humor.
Way.
This is the way to lose the golf, to lose the golf, to lose the golf. This is the way to lose the golf. Yeet!
Okay, so putting aside golf, normally Wolfhead, who I would presume that he, along with Ryley, are pretty much my co-hosts at this point because they're always loyal. He apparently has something going on in his life, so he won't be joining tonight's podcast. Hopefully, we'll see him next week. In the meantime, how have you guys been?
Who you asking?
A lot.
Who goes first?
Me.
All right,
No,
go
who's
ahead.
on first?
Well, I have snack now, and I also do something for GoldenFox
Oh god.
out of
Okay.
fucking nowhere.
Zuh.
All right.
Is that good?
Okay. No. Sometimes we all just like to, relax for a bit while we're getting set up with everything. So, on tonight's podcast, we're going to be discussing the following: the Villainous pilot, hopes and predictions for Gen 5. Nostalgia Circle's coming back again, and this time I'm not going to give out any round numbers or anything like that. And then finally, we'll be ending the podcast with a Q&A. You know the drill. So let's go ahead and get started. So, Villainous, for those who don't know, is a show that was made in Mexico, and I've seen like a handful of its not pilots, but sample like short clips from Cartoon Network, and it's basically just a series of villain characters who are going through a lot of riffraff mishaps and all kinds of bullshit. So, for the longest time, there was a pilot that came out over a year ago, and I had no idea. And for the longest time, I was really excited to see the Villainous was getting a show greenlit. So with that being said, I wanted to do the honors to give attention to it despite being very, very late to the party. So for those new to the podcast, Aeon, Dusk, and Murray, and MasterCode, the way it all works is that we exchange turns from up and top to bottom on the roster, and I volunteer going last. So, Aeon, you have the ground.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw this actually on my break earlier today. My first two thoughts about it were, it seems like a much more like innocent and toned down hell of a boss. At least I was getting sort of that vibe off of it slightly. I personally liked Black Hat. Probably the most as a character. I did like that the animation like reminded me of like an early 2000s like cartoon because it had that style about it. And I don't know about anyone else, but is it just me or is that what was the name of that woman he was with?
Oh,
Penumbra?
No, well,
Dementia?
yeah, it might be.
I know who you're talking about. Like I'm having
Dementia?
Dementia.
dementia.
Yeah,
Dementia.
Dementia, yes.
Yeah, no. My attitude about her is that, like, this character is the ideal wet dream of all those girls you met in elementary school who think that being hyper is a personality trait, or that being on a sugar rush means, like, guys, I'm so crazy, look at me, I'm not like other girls, I'm crazy.
God.
Oh, wow.
Admittedly, so I got a bit of a kick out of that because I'm like, oh my god, they did it, and because it's not real, it isn't cringe.
Okay.
Oof.
But yeah, overall, I liked it. Like I said, I like that it has like a bit of like a really toned down Saturday morning cartoon and more kid friendly, like Hell of a Boss. Even if I do prefer Hell of a Boss.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's no surprise there. So, anything else you'd like to share?
Like overall, I think I would probably give it a watch if everyone else was seeing it too. It's like for someone who hadn't heard about it until like a couple days ago, like not bad overall. Although, admittedly,
sorry to interrupt. What's with the racket in the background?
That's on Marie's end.
Yeah, Marie. For the
What?
time being,
It's not Marie. It's
No?
Lars is getting stuff out of the pantry. Sorry.
Ah, sorry.
Okay. All right.
no,
continue,
sorry about
Peter.
that.
Help.
Anyway, I'm trying to remember my train of thought. It was the humor definitely. Admittedly, if it weren't for the idea of like a nostalgia factor, that's primarily where my enjoyment is in the nostalgia factor of it all. Because admittedly, the jokes didn't quite hit for me. I kind of saw them as a bit charming in the sense of like, oh, it reminds me of an old show. But beyond like the vibe of like the youthful vibe, the humor didn't really hit with me.
Okay.
Still loved it though.
Yeah. So, we ready to pass the next turn?
Yes.
All right, DuskFlare, you're up.
I did enjoy it, not as much. Again, I completely agree with Aeon that it reminds me very strongly of Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel. The cartooning is very, very similar. I still enjoy it though. I liked some of the background gags going on. I like the reverse of that the villains are the ones you're rooting for and the heroes are kind of jerks. That's always one of my favorite. It's not even a plot twist at this point, but it's one of my favorite plot points. is always when the villain is actually the one you're rooting for. I've liked it since I saw Death Note when I was a teenager, and that one was a very good way of putting it. I had a little bit of a problem, as I mentioned in chat, that the lip syncing was off. But again, if it was done in, I think it was in Spanish first, then that makes sense. Yeah, so that makes sense that the voice acting was not on par, but it seemed a little bit off to me. Like they weren't putting in their best voice acting skills. Like there wasn't a lot of energy behind a lot of the voice acting, which is something I noticed. Other than that, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the designs. First of all, whenever there's creative designs, I always enjoy it. Like basically the loser villain, the scientist, just has a paper bag over his head, and the fact that he wakes up in it is hilarious. I did enjoy that, and I enjoyed noticing that.
Yeah, I noticed that in some of the the shorts before the pilot, he was easily used as a punching bag. Like there was one where he used like a security system, and he forgot to install like a deactivation button, so he had to go through all that shit just to deactivate the security at his house. So
I'm interested to see where it would go if they actually do end up going with it.
I hope so too. I like the charm it's going for here. I noticed that some of you have been comparing Villainous to Hell of a Boss. Villainous was in the works since like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this was before Hell of a Boss was a thing, and it's kind of hilarious on how comparable those are. But judging on its own merits, I'm not gonna like take the floor yet. But yeah, like I just wanted to put that out there. So, anyways, continue, Dusk.
Oh no, that was pretty much it. It's just small things I noticed, particularly in the voice acting. It seemed very slowed down in order to lip sync properly.
All right.
I love Penumbra's design specifically because a lot of people use Sombra and Umbra as sort of more edgy looks, and hers was just sort of this very faintly Victorian look, which I enjoyed.
All right, so we're ready to pass the next turn?
Hmm? Galaxy, you're up.
Yep.
Huh?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
No, I was asking a yes or no question,
okay.
but yeah. Go ahead, Galaxy.
Okay. Oh, where do I begin? I love this pilot very fucking much. I love it more than Has Been Hotel, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Like, I love the character designs, but Angel Dust and a couple people were actually one of the people that I actually liked in that series. But, you know what I mean? It's just one of those, like, pilots that I actually appreciate more and more. In a sense. I do like some of the character designs with Villainous, considering that like you have someone you have a bear that's like that sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the others. You have this fucking dude with like a paper bag on his head that he lives in, and I love that. Fucking Black Hat looks so like well, villainous in a sense. He literally looks villainous. And I love Dementia. I love her. Especially on a voice acting aspect, I do believe there's, like I said, yeah, like Dust said, there's some problems with it, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Especially how much I love how the reverse psychology bullshit where you get to root for the villains instead of the heroes alone, which can be jerks too. So I love those kinds of plot lines basically.
Okay.
It's somewhere out there with I love this. One of my favorite pilots besides MLP, what was it? Hell of a Boss, and Alistair and Melody from Luximus.
Okay then.
Yeah.
So some people may not know what that is yet. Maybe that can be talked over in a future podcast. So in the meantime, anything else you would like to share before passing the turn, Galaxy?
I love Dementia. She's a mood. Dementia is a mood.
All right. So,
She is literally what happens if you give a kid Pop Rocks.
yeah, apparently. So, so with that said, Lightning Bliss, you now have the floor.
Dementia is blight high on sugar. I can't really get that out of my head. It's like, okay, this could definitely be blight if you huck her up on enough sugar and she's just having one of those days where, I gotta kill something!
It's like, I could just imagine, like, the whole, like, the third grade joke that Blight is in that position, and it's like, it's like, when I was in the third grade, people treated me like a criminal, and when you least expect it, like, the sugar kicks in, and it, like, changes the face to Dementia, because I killed somebody!
Pretty much. But,
Right.
I should draw that.
but yeah, I have to agree with basically Aeon and Dusk at this point, and with respect to Galaxy, but I'm sorry, Has-Been Hotel kind of stole Villainous' thunder, I would say, because let's be real, Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel, they're kind of the answer to a lot of us older adults that still want to watch cartoons. It has a lot more depth going for it and more stories to tackle. Whereas Villainous, so far, I've only seen the pilot episode. And has there been anything else?
Well, that's the thing.
Has there been any plans for the series to be released or what?
It's been said that the show is still in the works, but this pilot, I didn't even know that it was out a year ago, and that's the tricky thing. I think Villainous is just in a very, very slow production, and the pilot is just giving us a taste, along with the shorts on what this is about.
See, I fear the worst then for this pilot because it's not really advertising or... Put it this way, I know more about what's going on with Visipop and her content than this content, and it's being backed up by Cartoon Network. I am concerned because, yeah, this pilot has potential. This is like the answer to viewers and people who want to watch Has-Been Hotel but don't want the cussing and the violence and the suggestive, really dark topics. This is a much more PG-13 approach to it, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is more like Has-Been Hotel for kids, if you're going to compare this to. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Can I object? Can I object for a second? Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
I think it's mostly because I had some liking to it, honestly. Especially ever since it came out. It's like one of those contradictory moments for me because when I looked up Has-Been Hotel on Twitter, just like, oh, I can see how much praise it will get. Holy shit! It had so many mixed feelings. That honestly contradicted how I felt about Has-Been Hotel. I see their points also too. But it's an okay pilot. I'm not saying that it's a bad pilot.
Okay.
Okay. Again, Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, they're really meant for adults anyway. It was never meant for kids, and it's for much deeper, darker topics that a lot of people are not really comfortable talking about, whether that be... I don't even want to touch those topics because they are dark, but, they are reality, and I give credit to people who want to address those topics in a funny way that is really meant for adults. But that being said, Villainous is meant for kids. It is clearly meant for kids. I can see the potential of it being fun. I would certainly have fun with it. I certainly had no problem hating the hero, because they clearly made it out to be that the hero is a giant jerk.
Oh yeah, tackling the bag. I forgot his name.
The typical bully stereotype.
Yeah, tackle him to the ground and be like, "It's a nerd." It's like, and then he finds out, "Wait, you're a villain too." I was like, that joke actually did get. I was like, "Oh, that actually is funny."
Yeah, that was just. But I'm not saying the pilot episode is bad. It's just that I'm worried about it getting noticed or being taken seriously because of the lack of attention I have seen from it. I literally forgot about it after a year it was released, and I've not heard any developments for it since. So I'm concerned for it.
Yeah, there hasn't been much word for it. I don't know what is going on. I do have some kind of gut feeling that something suspicious is going on with Cartoon Network, and they're known for some shady behavior in the past.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, well, I have high hopes for it, but at the same time, I'm also worried for it because there's literally been no publicity for it. There's been no advertisement for it. There's like, hey, you want this series to happen? Support it here. I've not been seeing any of that, so put it this way, I'm not putting my hopes up for it.
All right, then. So, are you ready to pass the next turn, or is there anything else you want to mention?
Pass it on!
All right, Mary, you have the floor.
Yee. All right. So I actually saw the pilot like I think like a week after it came out, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I joined the fandom on like Amino, if you know what that is. And I've been having fun with it. I've been creating characters for it, and I absolutely fell in love with Dr. Flug. I love him. He's so cute. And like, I definitely see where you come from when you say it has like a little like Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel vibe. Because like I can see that. I can see them being like hell characters.
Okay.
Though I feel like because of the light in the town and all that, it like didn't come to me into my head like that it could be like Hell of a Boss.
Okay.
I'm bad at this. Oh my god. There's actually also like when it comes to the like advertisement, I feel like it would be more like prominent in like the Spanish speaking regions because it is a Spanish show. So I feel like maybe that's the reason why it hasn't have like a lot of advertisement. Though I do also realize that it is slow and it is not a good idea to not advertise it because I feel like it deserves a little bit more advertisement.
I can agree with that.
Like I like my opinion about it is like it has a lot of potential. Also, because it has a lot of potential, there's actually like Penumbra has like an official Instagram site where like someone draws pictures as if she's like interacting, and like she actually has like Sunblast on her side, and he's like having a really hard time because the town is like searching for a new hero through a reality show. And he's like really down because of that. So that's kind of funny. So like I can't say a lot, but that I love it, and I love the interaction in the Instagram of Penumbra.
All right then. All right. So, anything else you would like to add?
No.
All right then. So I guess we're ready to pass the turn off to MasterCode.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys right off the bat, I pretty much walked into this completely blind. Like, I haven't seen, like, I may have seen like one or two of the clips, but I haven't seen them all. So I walked into this pilot, like, not knowing any of the characters really. So my overall thoughts was it was good. I did like the artwork, the art style, the animation looks absolutely amazing. I love the saturated colors, like with Dementia's like super highlight neon colored. I love that. I love the super dark and gringy stuff you receive like with Black Hat's Lair. The lip syncing that didn't really bother me, or I didn't really notice it that much. Humor wise, it was okay. I mean, I would appreciate like a few more jokes here and there because there were only a couple that actually got me. Like the one where Sunblast, they see Sunblast coming towards the their aircraft on the screen, and a pigeon hits his head. I was like, "Bam, that's hilarious!"
Yeah,
or
that
when
was
the cop,
funny.
or when the cop sees sees them like land on top of the statue, it's like, wait a minute, there's parking on top of a statue on a Sunday is illegal. Like, that was good. And then story wise, there's really no better way to say this, but I've seen it before. Was it executed fine? Yeah. Like, for example, there's the bit where they're like, oh, we'll take him out with this tranquilizer. I'm like, gee, I wonder where this is going. They're going to oh, no, he accidentally shot Dementia. And then, yeah, I've seen it before.
There's a lot of cliches that are noticeable in this, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Music and sound effects. I thought they were fine. The voice work I actually thought was decent. There were a couple times like when the scene where Dr. Flug is yelling after Dementia, running away from her pit. He doesn't. He should sound like he's yelling, but he's clearly like, "Ew, stop right over there! Give me Willy Wonka. No, don't stop. Come back or whatever." But for the most part, I thought it was fine. The character designs themselves, I thought were very good. Where you got a great variety. We got Black Hat, who's this weird, twisted, being, and his colors and voice are perfect. You got a big blue bear voiced by Markiplier, which is kind of odd. Like, you could literally get anyone to do that voice. I could do that voice, but I like Dementia's color palette. You get red and black combined with the neon green. Dr. Flug and his always has a paper bag over his head.
Yeah.
The designs were good. And maybe it was just me, the only one who thought about this, but I'm thinking about an evil organization and that has a bear, a cowering bear. It reminded me of the Adventures of Evil Con Carne from Cartoon Network a long time ago. Did anyone else feel that? Boskov the bear from Evil Con Carne.
That does
actually,
not
I was going to mention
it was a big purple bear who had the brain of an evil mad scientist attached to the bear's head. You guys don't remember that one? It played alongside Billy and Mandy.
Okay, that's why I don't know about it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's good. The story was very basic. It was a decent pilot, I will say that. Now on to Mr. Ryley.
All right, Ryley, you're up.
Hello. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, just making sure. Honestly, same as MasterCode, I got a very Maxwell Adams feel for it. Like he said, it reminded me of like Evil Con Carne and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy with a bit of the art style. Other than that, honestly, it's one of those things where I feel style over substance. Like, I love the designs of the character. I love the idea behind all the characters in the story. It's just the execution. I'm not really. It's just kind of for me.
Okay.
Like, I know this was like a fan dub too, but it could be distracting sometimes with some of the voice acting. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just you could tell they were limited in some ways. As for the it's been a few. Like, this came out in 2017, right?
The shorts did. This pilot came out in 2019.
It did, okay. Because I didn't remember anything about the show since 2017. I don't remember hearing about a pilot. I thought there was a pilot made out shortly after the show was like doing those clips back in 2017, but I guess not. I like the idea behind it. It would be cool for it to be picked up by Cartoon Network and made into an actual series, but I don't know. Again, maybe the writing left to be a bit better, but then again, this is just the pilot, so I'm not against the idea of seeing more from the show.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I would watch it just for the style itself. I think, honestly.
All right then.
Yeah. That's my thoughts.
Okay, so to give, since I've volunteered going last, to give my thoughts on this, I was introduced to this back in 2017 by Keyframe when she showed me a few things on her phone, And I looked at it, and I had a hard time. Like, I had to read the subtitles at first, and they're very, very fast paced. So, thankfully, with the English dubbing, I was able to watch it and heavily appreciate it, because this is more like, a lot of people have made this comparison with Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss, which is kind of weird because this was like in the works long before those two were out. And this is more like just that kind of concept where you have just a bunch of villains, but with a bunch of slapstick and humorous comedy, as the main villain is like deadpan and irritated with all kinds of shit. The different shorts, I was able to get that kind of grasp. So seeing that this was a whole plot to make a pilot episode, I hope that, like with everybody else, I can see that there's a lot of potential going on here. I think at this point, I don't know if they're going to make an arc or anything like that. I honestly hope that isn't the case. I just think that these are just like slice of life, silly moments that these villains are trying to do and trying to be successful with whatever it is that they are doing. And because the shorts were enough to convince me. I was excited when I heard about Villainous at the time, and it's still weird that after a long period I didn't hear anything about it. So, I can understand that some of these characters, like some of the tone in this doesn't suit too well for a lot of you. And I will also agree that some of the character designs, especially the dude with the paper bag, like that's hilarious in and of itself. I can see that Black Hat is being written as like a big like edgelord wannabe, but at the same time, he already has an ego because in one of the shorts, they were working with some kind of machine where they threw in Medusa's head and were using like its magic to create like different kinds of statues and based on what someone is typing. And there was one that just shows just a statue image of Black Hat, and he looks at it and he's like, "What? I don't look like that." And funny enough, if you look at the background of that shot, they have the same bows, and they're just having the same words or dialogue that are being used. So I think I've explained as much as I could here compared to everybody else. I do hope that Villainous does take off and does something a little different, because personally I don't like seeing the comparisons with Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss. I like that it becomes its own entity. So the only thing I can say at that point is just wait and see, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
So, it has its charm, and I think that's what I like about it. It is a bit of a style over substance, but I hope that it works well in the long run afterwards. So, I think we've discussed more than enough at that point. I think it's time we move on to the next topic, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us would have a lot to say. Then again,
Boy.
But then again, this is just me saying this with a pinch of salt. So there's been a lot of talk about a possible Gen 5 around the corner. There's no specific date announced. There's a schedule release for a lot of things, like there's a second MLP movie and so forth. But there's been a lot of discussion that's been kind of up in the air over the idea behind Gen 5. And in doing so, a lot of us, or majority of us, we've been into we've been bronies in the past, and as usual, we go from top to bottom. So, Aeon of Dreams, you have the floor.
Okay, so I don't know much of anything about what was released for Gen 5 other than what I think was that animatic that people claim to have found. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
I didn't know there was an animatic.
Well, allegedly there was, and if I found the one that people were talking about, it was like some pony who had like figurines or toys of the main six.
Yep.
And it, like, from what I could gather, my interpretation of the opening was like something like either they get teleported to where they are, or it's something in the pony's head. I don't know. I do think that idea would be a pretty cool idea, but the problem is, outside of what I might pull out of that animatic, I don't know enough about Gen 5. Just that I heard there might have been an idea that either like what I just said, like it's something inside this character's head,
Okay.
or as some other idea about how these friends are like separated by a different dimension. That was another theory. That was an interesting one. Or that it was like 1,000 years in the future, or like sometime in the future. I think all those ideas are cool. I definitely want to see what they do with it. Well, beyond that, I don't know much. Just that I'm fascinated at the idea, assuming this is true again, of the main six as we know them being somehow involved in some sort of meta way.
Okay.
I think that's cool. I pass on.
All right.
For the record, that animatic you're talking about, it's not even guaranteed if that was made by Hasbro or it was just a fan trying to get it out. Nobody really knows where.
No, I already said that. I already said if it is accurate.
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay. Go ahead, Dusk. You now have the floor.
Honestly, I'm always excited for more MLP. I grew up with MLP in the 90s. I grew up with, I think it was My Little Pony Tales. But I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the old movies from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what we would rent from. This is going back from Videotron when we would, go there.
The Blockbuster days.
Family video.
Family videos. So I'm always excited to get a new thing. I was too old for the quote unquote newer generations until I was reintroduced to them in college by some of my friends at the time, because that was going around 4chan at the time. So everyone's like, "Oh, you should check this out." I'm like, "Oh, I used to watch this when I was a kid. Has it changed?" And then, of course, got re-obsessed. So I am very excited to see what they'll do. I mean, I like that they're doing a transition movie that even if this trailer is not part of it, I'm always very excited to see new stuff coming out, whether it's from fans or official stuff. Honestly, some of the fan stuff that has come out of this fandom is part of what drew me into the fandom in the first place, because there's just so much out there. Like I'm still discovering new things now from like years ago that people have just rediscovered and are sharing. It's just like, oh, there was stuff I didn't even know about, and I've been part of this fandom for over 10 years.
All right.
I'm very excited. So what I saw in this animatic, honestly, is again what everyone is. I would be interested if they called this something around the same title as My Little Pony Tales, and it's about tales about the adventures the MLP gang, the main 6-7, would have had like between the two of them. So you would see more, because in the final episode they didn't give you a lot about what was happening. They gave hints. So it would be great if they expounded on that.
Okay. All right. So, anything else you would like to share, or you're ready to pass the turn?
I'll pass the turn.
All right, Galaxy, you're up.
I don't. Here we go again. Here we go again. Fuck.
Breathe.
I just no. Here's the thing with me and fandoms. I'm just thinking about this. Like, oh, you're gonna be in a brony again for the next couple of days, a couple of years from now, because this is probably gonna get released later on. And I'm just like, here we go again. Because believe it or not, I've been a fan for like quite some time. I discovered people like GoldenFox when I was like little fetus. I discovered a bunch of these brony reviewing, and I'm just like, this seems very interesting. Maybe one day I'll make something for them, and I'm here, I guess. I think now, at this point, I'm just trying to make some anime shit, or I've been like jumping from MLP to Brockhampton shit, and then I go back from MLP to now anime shit. It's like I don't even care anymore.
Basically, you're like, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, I was just like, does this mean we're gonna make more MLP reviewing shit? Oh
Yes.
god, no.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that
Exactly.
it's like that bullshit I have to get through again. And the funniest thing is that like I was just like, you know what? I should make like my history with this is just like, you know what? I should make something for Lightning Bliss. There you go. Now I'm here making thumbnails for Lightning Bliss. I made art. I now have 1,000 followers, which is great. And it's just like
She regrets her entire life now.
Yeah, anime's my entire life now. Fucking.
Welcome to the Degeneracy Club. We have T-shirts.
I'm already in the degeneracy club.
You know, yeah, you'll make the graphic on the T-shirts.
You'll make the t-shirts.
You'll make the t-shirts.
Exactly, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I want to work stuff. Yeah. But
You could do both.
it's just like,
Said you could do both.
I mean, yeah. But it's just like, it makes me wonder how the fandom will change. That's the thing with me. I don't give a shit if the MLP shit looks like a mixture of Gen Z, Gen 4, and Pony Life. I don't give a shit.
Gen Z.
I was about to say Gen 4. But Gen 4, I'm Gen Z. But
MLP Gen Z.
I'm sorry to interrupt for just a minute, but now I'm just imagining a terrible crossover between My Little Pony and Dragon Ball Z.
I hate this.
I'm just thinking of like millennial meme TikTok trash, but with ponies.
There you go.
Continue, Galaxy.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm just like sitting here thinking like I don't give a shit if it's like a mixture of Gen 4 and Pony Life, you know? All I care about is I want to watch a show for potentially all ages, because apparently as soon as this shit dropped in like October 10, 2010, basically everyone went on board, and I hope they cover more and more topics. Like, not to say it going on like some edgy bullshit. That's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is kind of just like some Steven Universe shit, you know? Kind of like that, but not to that extent too.
Okay.
I'm more worried about the fandom, because there are some people that haven't changed, which is fine. I know, like Bliss is still doing reviews and technically does MLP stuff. Golden is doing highlight reels, which is neat. Get more content, get more followers that way. But I don't know. I just wonder whether or not things will be the same afterwards. Is all.
I can see that.
And now I'll be in this like. Yeah, and now I'm just gonna be in this fucking. I'm gonna jump back into the rabbit hole of MLP shit.
Escape.
It's
Join us.
It's like the Hotel California. Once you're in, you never leave.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can
Check in
never
anytime you
leave.
like. Check out.
Jesus. But I don't know. I wouldn't have it any other way, but I'm still wanting to see if people can still branch out to this shit. You know? Because a lot of people in this call anyway don't want to be defined as someone who makes pony creations, which is why I branch out to a lot of fandoms as of late.
Absolutely.
Quote unquote. But I don't know. I'm just wondering whether or not the fandom will change for the better or for the worse. Oh, I know. Like, it's not to say like fandoms are rainbows and butterflies and cotton candy. I've been to K-pop stan.
I feel attacked right now.
I was about to say.
Oh,
Right.
I've been in the K-pop stan thing. I've been in Brockhampton fandom. I've been in anime fandom. I might as well see if I can get back my hopes up I might as well see if I can get back into the swing of things when it comes to this fandom.
Okay.
Because I'm still just like, you know, trauma is a thing. A lot of things happen, hence why I backed away from it. And now I'm making shit for Lightning Bliss, which is kind of like, okay, cool.
Gosh, you make it sound like I'm torturing you.
Sound
Jeez.
like a chore.
I can now
But
just
I'm-
imagine
I'm
Bliss cracking.
sorry for acknowledging
I
you.
can just imagine Neuroc cracking the whip. Get to it, woman!
Into a sleeve!
I'm hiring you for artwork. God.
Get me
But
my
I want-
thumbnail!
Yeah, because I want to do art. That's the thing. I want to work on stuff. I want to work on stuff so that way I can make a living out of it. And also, I want to do things where I can do workaholic things in a way that's not gonna
Hey, no,
torture me
okay.
in the long
Wait,
run.
we're gonna have a chat in private after this podcast. Good lord.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Oh boy.
But it's just one of those things that now that I have like things all together, but I don't know, I'm still worried about the fandom as a whole too. Is all I can say for the matter.
Okay.
E.
So are we ready to pass the turn?
E.
Alright, Bliss, go right ahead.
Alright. Crack your neck. I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't be worrying about those things, Galaxy, and to the rest of you in the chat room. I have been a G1 brony before any of you freakers were born. Need to put that out there right now. G1, first pilot episode, the toys, everything. That came out in 1984. I was born 1986. And even then, G1 was going strong for about, I'd say, yeah, more than 10 years, almost,
Well into
give
the
or take.
90s.
Yeah, well into the 90s. The toys were still selling. My parents were still buying. I still loved it. Of course, when I got into the 4th and 5th grade, I had to tuck away my love of the franchise because by that point, everybody was in the boy bands. Backstreet Back, alright.
I remember that.
Now
Same.
I've got that one Backstreet Boys song stuck in my head.
Which one?
What was it? I Want It That Way.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not doing that yet. We'll do that later. Here's the thing. I've seen the fandom evolve. I've seen it change, and I've seen it change for the worse. And G4, Gen 4 by far was probably its biggest, most positive change I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Because G1, it was average. It was something people my age grew up with, but it was mainly for girls. Guys didn't really notice it ever, or at least I never noticed guys that ever noticed it.
Hi, Solar.
Wow, I'm right here.
Okay, Solar.
Border.
But
Hello, brother.
G2, which is basically ponytails, that kind of like what the video on John Delancey did. It was a basically girly stereotypes that not even I could really get into G2, just simply because I couldn't relate to it. It was basically representing girl pony characters that were into pop music, into dancing, into making clubs, and talking smack about boys because ew, boys are gross. I couldn't get into that. I literally could not get into that. It lost me there. And then you get G3 and G3.5. Oh dear God, we do not talk about that.
Generation.
We do not talk about this generation. This generation was strictly meant for babies and toddlers. Holy cow.
Yeah, no, that shit was like it's like even on the even just judging on the spectrum of being just for toddlers, that shit was so insulting. Like, you want to do something right, go take notes from Sesame Street.
No, you want to do it right? I'd rather have your kids watch Blue's Clues, which were good, or Thomas the Tank Engine. I never even liked Thomas the Tank Engine. I'd rather have the kids watch that.
You know what? Yeah, I'll give you that. For a second there, I was like, boy, don't you say shit about Blue's Clues.
No. I actually enjoyed Blue's Clues. I thought it was very educational and a lot of fun for kids. But anyway, we get to Gen 4, and you guys are here. We're all here. Gen 4 is the reason why we're all here today. Let's be real.
Before they actually tried. they made a story that made sense. It appealed to more than just, girls, because girl power, it was just like, yeah, no, it's a story that everybody can enjoy. It's not just for one type of people. Broaden the horizons a little bit.
Now let me get to my point about before I start talking about my hopes and predictions for Gen 5, because that's the topic.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are scared that the fan community's ending, I got news for y'all. It's always been here. It's evolved several times in the past few decades. Nothing's really ever changed other than it's gained more members thanks to Gen 4. Will it lose members?
Yeah.
I don't know. That will depend on whether or not people don't want to watch it anymore or don't want to support the content anymore. That's up to people.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
mean,
okay.
It's going to lose members every generation, regardless of how many people end up liking it. But the thing is, with Gen 5 coming around the corner, it's also likely to gain a lot more people.
Every fandom has its ups and has its downs. Do they ever die? Not really.
Honestly, I can't think of a single fandom off the top of my head that has actually just straight up died and
Heck,
never been resurrected.
There's some Twilighters out there.
I've already made a video about this a few years ago because people are like, "Oh no, something changed. The fandom's gonna die. Calm the fuck down.
Relax."
Anyway,
So-
continue, Bliss.
Yeah, but that being said, I am not worried about the fandom dying. I won't be surprised if it changes or evolves because that happens with every fandom. So I'm not worried about it, nor should any of you guys. My hopes and predictions for Gen 5. Yes, I do hope it brings in more members. I do hope it brings more stories and lore. I truly do hope they don't steer away from like the fantasy and adventuring because that's what G1 had. G1 was all about the fantasy and the exploration and discovering new creatures and new lands, and I want that to keep going because heck, when I first joined the Brony fandom officially, technically I was already one before any of you were born. Me and my first group of friends, we used to write fanfics with each other, of our characters going on adventures together based within the Gen 4 universe. And it was fun. I literally wrote a story one time of how Bliss becomes an alicorn. Not that I'm ever going to use it in her backstory officially, but we went on adventures to fight dragons or to meet new characters or discovering artifacts or doing something as silly as babysitting for the princesses or something. I don't know. It was fun. But you see my point. My point is that I want Gen 5 to be able to branch out into that more, don't skip out on the fantasy aspects. Don't dive in too hard with modern times like with Ponytails did, because Ponytails went too hardcore modern back in the day. And that's what really broke it down for me. It killed the fantasy. Don't kill the fantasy with Gen 5. That is my hope. I really hope it goes that route. And I hope when it comes to the style of it too, it's not too cutesy, wootsy, ugly, and full-on CGI. I know animation evolves, and I know they're going to try and find new ways to create episodes without 2D animation at the works. And odds are it's going to be 3D. I won't be surprised. But if it is, please let it be good, please.
That's not too much to ask for.
Please?
Pretty please?
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Hasbro comes out, no!
Yes. It'll be like G3, G3.5.
No.
Yes.
No.
Don't even jinx it! I'm not kidding!
I know.
Kids, this is what the kids put me through. I'm too old for this crap. I'm gonna just drive it over to Marine. Marine, take it away. I'm done with y'all.
Yeah, you kids are driving me nuts.
Shut up, MasterCode.
Darn kids. So
Too old for this crap.
when it comes to My Little Pony, I've always had like this boomerang relationship with it. I've like joined it and then I left it and then I joined it and then I left it again.
You can
I don't
never
know.
leave the fandom. It will always pull you back. Robin has told me so many times.
I guess I was like always pulled out of it because like in school people were like, "Are you watching My Little Pony? Is this a show for babies?" No, it's not. But like I couldn't make that clear to them that it's not a show for babies, so I had to like hide it in order to like not get like bit in the face.
Aw.
So like
Wow.
but I've always had like my sister that always enjoyed it with me, and like we used to like make little comics about YouTube videos we found, and we just like put the characters in the YouTube video into a body of a pony and then make comics about it. Those are really old, and we probably thrown them away, which is kind of sad because like we've always enjoyed those comics.
Never throw anything away.
Yeah, I've learned that now. Sadly, we can't like unthrow them away, so they're gone. But it was really fun. But like because I had this boomerang relationship, I was like never really how do I say that? I was like never really informed enough about like how like where do I watch it and when is it coming out and all that. So I was always just like, yeah, I like these ponies, I guess. And like I've gone back into the fandom like a year ago, and then I actually watched it through, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. This is like so much more than I had thought before in my entire life. I should like not back out of it again just because some people say, hey, it's a show for babies, because I know it's not. And like I would actually hope now that the like show is like quote unquote over, I would like hope that it actually like doesn't go 3D, because it almost never works out good. And I would really hope that like the 3D aspect isn't going to be present in this again.
I still remember seeing that cringiness that was like, it's the one where Pinkie Pie is taking the stage on some kind
Yeah.
of gaming show, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap?
I've like watched someone like review it, and there was so much he pointed out on that animation that looked wrong to him, but like I couldn't see it because it was going too fast, and I was like, whoa, that's actually kind of bad. But like, yeah, 3D, I feel like 3D isn't working that great when it comes to My Little Pony, cause there's so much like magic going on and so much fantasy. I feel like 3D can't capture that as good as 2D can. So I just hope that the next generation will also be 2D. That's like the only hope I got, that it's as good as Gen 4, but 2D also.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anything else you would like to add before passing the turn?
No, that's like all I had to say.
All right, MasterCode, you're up.
Well, for season 5, we saw the episode, the last problem and whatnot. We kind of saw like a foreseeable future, what it could possibly be. So I think logically, the most realistic one is Fallout Equestria! I want to see guns and violence and explosions and pony fighters and blood and violence!
I mean, that would be a twist. I'll stick around for that, definitely.
Jesus.
I feel called out.
But here it is. This Gen 4 and Equestria has such rich and deep lore. We've explored so many cool and interesting locations. So many different species, from hippogriffs, griffins, and whatnot. So I think they will use Equestria at least as their foundation for the series, because you got such a rich world. Why not? Why reinvent the wheel when you already got everything? The setting would obviously change. Like, I don't Like, I don't think it'd be in Ponyville. Like, you could choose Canterlot or some far off place or something. And as far as main characters go, one, yeah, you definitely have to. You can't recycle the main 6 because their story's done. Now, you could have them as cameos. I'm perfectly fine with that. Or even Celestia and Luna. If you did a thing where it's like years in the future, you could have them as cameos as well. But you need an entirely new and unique dynamic. With the main 6, we had all ponies. With the student 6, we had one of each race. So definitely they need to do a nice mixed ratio of male to female and different species just to keep things aligned.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, as far as animation goes, I don't know if they're. Tell me this is a stupid question. Is Toon Boom Flash or is that separate?
It's separate.
Okay. Like, if they did a Toon Boom like they did with the MLP movie, I'd be perfectly fine with that because that looked good.
Oh, yeah. I would love that.
The animation was so fluid. All the visual effects and whatnot look fantastic. Like, if it looked like that, I'd be perfectly like that. But
yeah, my fear is that they're not gonna do it, and I'm hearing a lot of rumors that they're not. So, but I am hoping for Toon Boom, honestly. Anyway,
yeah, that would look awesome. Let's see. Setting, characters. I guess they probably will do another group of 6 just because the show. Yeah, we have group of 6s not just here in the show, but the comics as well and beyond and whatnot. So there probably will be another group of 6.
Yeah, standard party size.
The one thing I'm curious about how they're going to do it, because with the series finale, we pretty much established that Equestria and all the lands of all the other species is basically a utopia. Because we saw how every pony, dragons, whatnot, we're all just getting along in Canterlot. So you kind of have to start it out where there needs to be, I don't want to say a breakup, but there has to be some reason to create conflict. Like, I don't know if this is the best example, but maybe, like, how from Legend of Korra, how Amon, he hates benders and whatnot. So maybe you have some new villain who hates ponies in general or whatever, or something. I don't know. You need something.
Was trying to be.
I don't know. You need something to break up the status quo, whether it be a villain or some big political or economical thing or whatever. So those are kind of my predictions. So on to Mr. Ryley.
All right, Ryley, go ahead.
Hello. Honestly, I don't really have many hopes for Gen 5. Do I think it's going to be decent? Yeah, I think it might be decent. But I feel like Gen 4 was kind of lightning in a bottle for a lot of it. And I mean, if they can have just as good writing and have just as interesting lore as Gen 4 has had, I'll definitely be interested in seeing what they do with it. It's just, I don't know, I'm not really expecting much from the next generation. And honestly, I don't really see it as being as a continuation of, like, Gen 4's storyline. It's probably going to be like a reboot of sorts. Will it maybe have the same characters? I'm not sure. If the leaks are real, then we might have the same characters, but different universe, different storyline type of thing. But I don't know. I'll definitely be more interested when we actually see some footage of the whole thing. We have a general idea, but as for, I don't know. It just, I'm not expecting much, and hope for the best, expect the worst, or at least mediocre type of thing. Honestly.
Okay. So I guess we're ready to pass it on to Solar?
Yes.
Alright, Solar, you have the floor.
So, hopes for Gen 5. Honestly, because I know that Bliss touched on this at least a little bit, but honestly, I'm hoping that they really do just lean more into the fantasy/adventure element, because they have that shit in spades. Like, Yeah, I get it. The show is called Friendship is Magic, and you got morals to pass along and shit like that. But like, there's so much story potential. Really, there is just sitting there, and it's kind of just underutilized a lot of the time. Because like, yeah, you got all these faraway lands where these other creatures live. Like, you got the fucking dragons that live out in the middle of like a fucking volcano and shit. Mm-hmm. There's just so much story potential that is just kind of not used very well. Like, it shows up for a couple of episodes maybe, and then is just never mentioned again. It just, again, the show is called My Little Pony, but there's so many other races that could be utilized. Also, call me crazy, but Gen 5, be really nice if we had some competent male characters.
Oh god, yeah,
no. Okay, I could list the number of competent male characters in Gen 4 on, like, one fucking hand.
Fire
there's fucking Spike, who's hardly there. He's, like, there for, like, maybe a third of the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually.
I find it interesting that Discord was only helpful when he was... Or not helpful, he was only, like...
Competent?
Yeah, he was way more competent as a villain. Funny enough.
Mm.
Yeah, he can't
he was
everything the way that he wants.
I'd say Sandbar was a good one too, and
I was
Gallus.
about to ask, yeah.
Yeah, Sandbar was definitely one. He at least had his fucking head on his shoulders.
He's the sarcastic one.
Shining was a bit... Well, here's the thing. Shining's a bit disappointing when in, like, any adventure plot, but in the slice of life stuff, he was actually good.
Yeah, no, he was great in Slice of Life, but then it's like, oh yeah, he's the captain of the Royal Guard doing fuck all.
That's why we have Gallus.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. He'll totally fight off the big bad guy. He's only failed to do this, like, 3 times. No,
yeah, he's fucking, he's seasick, he's airsick. I wouldn't be surprised if he's fucking wagon sick too. Like, Jesus Christ, how did this guy get to the top?
Just watch him be bulimic and then, like, pass out from a paper cut.
Yeah, no, fucking... That's a bad example, by the way, in case you couldn't tell.
Not to mention the fucking Royal Guard and a lot of the, the army...
That's the other thing! Like, Jesus, okay.
They were written like morons.
They are fucking worthless. They have accomplished nothing. Not one thing.
They arrested Cozy Glow after they got saved by everyone else.
After she was already fucking incapacitated. What, they fucking...
I want to point out one fucking thing. The guard could not stop anyone or anything, but they're like, oh my god, we get to arrest a child.
Yeah, really. That is the
that is the most significant career they've done.
The highlight of their career, arresting a literal child.
Oh my god, dude.
But I mean, here's a fucking thing that you could just do right off the fucking bat. You could literally just have a fucking spin-off series of the Royal Guard actually accomplishing shit. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Just have
Firebrand.
I mean, I think what I'm saying is basically there's a whole lot of potential that has not been used in favor of the quote-unquote safer options, which is just, have the main 6 on screen, have them solve an issue that, teach the kids a friendship lesson.
Yeah, they always have a very poor plot convenience in some way, shape, or form just centered on the main characters, because, it's about the main characters and nothing else. And that gets annoying.
You can still have a story focusing on characters who are doing a job like the guards, and still give kids a lesson.
Yeah, like, the guards should be competent. That's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Just. How do they guard the nation against anything?
Well, remember, there was 1,000 years where apparently fuck all happened. So I guess after a certain amount of time, they were kind of just there for show.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, is just they're there for ceremonial purposes, because they've accomplished fuck all. They've done nothing.
I'm really scared to put Solar and Josh in the same room together on this topic!
Oh no,
he would agree with me. He fucking knows.
Yeah, no, he went on a fucking tirade in the Rarity Investigates review with Silver Quill. They were written as jokes, and it's insulting.
It really is. It really is. But yeah, no, hopes and dreams. More competent male characters, leaning more into the fantasy genre. I had a third thing that it fucking slipped my mind during the tirade that I was making.
Lasers.
Don't forget the spaceship.
Ooh,
Spaceship.
there you go.
I got both.
We get alien
Yay.
ponies all of a sudden. What the dick?
Ponies in space, why not?
I mean, the only other
while.
thing. The only other thing I can really think of kind of just ties into the leaning into the fantasy adventure genre, which would just be, kind of make the way they bond seem more natural and less artificial. Because let's face it, there were a lot of episodes where it's like, oh, problem happens. Problem is conveniently solved by MacGuffin. And problem also happened by MacGuffin, but we're just going to slide right on by that. So yeah, I just like for a lot of it to feel more natural, not so much just, oh yeah, we have to stick a moral in there, so let's toss in a problem that gets solved.
I didn't learn anything. I was wrong.
Honestly, I was fucking glad they had the balls to just do that. Like, yeah, no, I didn't fucking learn a lesson. What are you fucking talking about? I was right. Suck my dick. I was objectively right.
Celestia. Fuck you and needing to learn shit. I was right. And I'm a background no.
Honestly, another thing that kind of just came to mind, main casts that are non-ponies. Because, let's face it, we see ponies fucking everywhere. It's Equestria. You're not gonna fucking run short of seeing fucking My Little Pony show. You can have more characters that are different races.
Yeah.
You really could.
That's why I like. That's why I like the Young Six back in Gen 8.
Oh yeah, no.
Season 8. Wow.
The Student 6 were fucking great because literally they did pretty much everything that the relationships between them felt a lot more natural because they had to actually kind of build that shit up from scratch. They kind of did lean into the more fantastical elements when they weren't doing the just the regular school stuff and ethnically diverse. But it was nice to just see them put their different abilities to the test rather than just, this pony is strong. This pony can use magic. This pony can fly. It's just this is a completely different animal here. They have some cool shit too.
I think that.
But yeah, that about wraps up my thoughts on the matter.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely adds a lot of flavor to this topic. Yeah, no, I pretty much am par with a lot of people that there's a lot of potential involved and it's not fully utilized, and that's because there's a huge restriction from frickin' Hasbro in which I'm not going to go into too much of a detail of, but those restrictions even make things, I think it were even frustrating for DHX because there's been some background that there are things they wanted to tackle on, things they wanted to do, but Hasbro's like, no, you got to do this and that because we care more about selling the toys. And that's a very frustrating factor right there. If, for the sake of argument, My Little Pony was its own entity, like a show that was not based on any existing toys, oh yeah, they could do so much more than just have a huge restriction right there. I'm not going to go on too much of a tirade right there. I did hear this, and I'm taking this with a pinch of salt. There's been potential talk about Gen 5 saying that it was somewhat going to be more adult oriented, and I'm like, okay, as much as there's an older fan base or an older following, don't lose your identity in appealing to the young generation. Just be respectful to the demographic and just make it entertaining. That's really all I ask. And I'm also on par with Bliss. No 3D. I've seen the whole Pinkie Pie on stage thing on 3D, and that was such garbage. If they do a 3D show, I guarantee you so many people are going to turn away, and it's going to lose ratings so bad.
it is tenuous ground. There are ways that they could be made in 3D that actually look good, but usually when people make 3D stuff, it's to cut costs. So it usually looks really like a really good example of what I'm talking about is Lupin the Third, the First. Yes, that's the actual name of the movie, by the way. It is 3D animated, but it is 3D animated in the style of the actual show. So, it looks really good. It looks really fucking fluid, and it still pays respect to its source material.
Or there's Into the Spider-Verse where it's a combination of 3D and 2D.
And it looked amazing.
I mean, hell, going for a really fucking old example, the Iron Giant.
Oh,
I mean, that...
God.
Because the Giant, he was 3D. I didn't know that for the longest fucking time, but yeah, it's 3D.
I was able to figure that out a lot.
Yeah, no, I actually found out the technique that they used when the Giant was interacting with, other people and shit like that is they would run the animation on 2s whenever he was interacting with other people, so he would appear to be 2D animated. I thought that was cool. But yeah, there are ways you can do 3D where it doesn't look like shit, but a lot of the times when people do 3D, it's to cut corners, so it looks like shit.
I have a very nasty gut feeling that Hasbro's gonna do that. And
They don't. There's no reason to. They have so much money. They have so much.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. Hasbro only cares about money. They don't care about quality. DHX was able to do that because they also had didn't they also do Dan Versus? Because there was a quality to that.
Suddenly all the fucking memes that I saw in 2011 and shit like that make a lot more sense now. That's why Dan Versus is always being fucking toted around with Pinkie Pie. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it clicks.
Yeah, no, I remember those were good animations from the early on days of the fandom. I never saw Dan Versus, but I love the fan animations of it.
My knowledge of Dan Versus is exclusively from the memes that came from that era.
Yes.
Dan Versus was such an underrated show.
Yeah, so I maybe this is just me having bad faith in Hasbro. I just hope that Hasbro puts their fucking heads together and think, hey, there's a reason why Gen 4 had such a big adult following. Let's think a little more carefully here before we pull the plug and do stupid shit because money.
Because money.
Yeah.
You have summed up corporations.
And they are a toy company first and foremost, and they're going to do whatever they want because they do have all that money, and they don't want to spend money either. And I'm speaking vehemently. Is it vehemently? Venom. I'm spewing venom, or venom is dripping from my teeth right now because the next topic we're going to get into, whoo boy, I know it's going to be tapping into nostalgia, but you'll see what I mean.
Okay. But anyways, you were saying, Bliss?
That was me.
No, okay.
You're fired.
Goldie,
Fired from your own show.
Goldie, I'm the one I'm slightly enhanced right now, and you're the one who's lost track of the conversation.
Yeah,
Hi.
fired. Welcome to everyone to the MasterCode and Lightning Bliss show. Hope you're having a good time.
Jesus.
Coup d'etat was successful.
Okay, and on that note, so those are our hopes and what we hope to see for Friendship is Magic. We'll have to wait and see. I am going to try to keep myself an open mind, and I'm pretty sure all of you are going to do the same thing and try to be flexible and all that kind of shit. On that note, let's go ahead and get to the fun stuff. The Nostalgia Circle. Now, for those who don't know, Nostalgia Circle, we basically just bring up something that we love from our childhood, and the potential of having a conversation is open. So, as usual, we go top to bottom on the roster. I volunteer going last. Peter, take it away.
Okay, Solar, Ryley, and MasterCode are probably going to know what I'm about to bring up. Do you guys remember Bionicle?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Fuck yes.
Oh, Goldie as well. Okay, so no, I was thinking about doing a list of games to stream, and with people, and I did want to do the Montanui online game still. For those of you who don't know, that was a game released in 2001, and it was considered somewhat technically groundbreaking for Flash, because Flash had just come out about the time that game was being released, and they managed to make a stable Flash game entirely in an internet browser running like Windows 98 or something.
Not only that, but a pretty fucking expansive one at that.
Yeah, no, well, it was really creative because it was meant to introduce you into like the story as someone who knew absolutely nothing, and the way they got through this was really clever. They made a point-and-click adventure game that's like that takes you a good like 3 or 4 hours to finish, and it's actually quite fun, just for world building. And the way they get away with everyone having to explain everything to you is you got amnesia.
Yep.
And I also have a sense of Marie knows this word, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Harrieth for that place, because the entire game is scenery porn.
Oh, absolutely! It fucking beautiful,
fucking gorgeous, and I was kind of upset that it wasn't real.
The island of Motunui is fucking beautiful. If people tell you otherwise, they're fucking lying, or they haven't seen the island of Motunui, because it is fucking gorgeous.
No, dude, I never used the fast travel system in the game because I like looking at the scenery.
Is that still running now that Flash is dead?
No, dude, you can get the offline version. I have it.
Oh, yeah, no, you can get it on the Biomedia project. That's where I got mine.
Yeah, dude, you know, there are files in there that run on DOS. I can literally fix that Windows 98 laptop that I have and actually play it on it because it has a DOS file on it.
Nice.
Sorry if I'm sounding a little too off topic again, or like trying to keep up the conversation. Were you guys talking about what's it called? The Quest for Motunui, the 3D fan game that's been since last year?
No, we're talking about Motunui online game, which is different.
Point-and-click adventure. You can download an offline version of it now, and you'll need to because Flash.
Yeah, Flash.
But it's a really good game, and it's one of those things where odds are you probably did play it back in the day, but it's been literally 20 years since it came out.
I wish I could have played it back in the day. That would have blew my fucking mind.
I played it before it was finished.
Me too.
Is it doable to... Oh, wait, never mind. It was Flash.
Well, no, here's the thing. You can play it offline. I was going to stream it at some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can.
I would love to take a look at that at one point, because I will not hesitate to stream that one day.
Okay, you and Solar, do you want to join me when I stream it? Because I was planning on doing that soon.
Yeah, I'll see if I can join you when you do that too.
Okay, I'll try. I'm going to try and do it this weekend. I don't know if I'll stream it to YouTube or Twitch, because I need to see... I think my connection is fine for that, but I'll probably just have a call on Goldie's server and be like, okay, guys, we're going to do this, and we're going to explore lore, because I know how to beat the game within a few hours.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, and that's not even speedrunning. That is me like taking time to like listen to what everyone is saying and gawk at scenery.
Okay.
Yeah, the link to the game is in the podcast.
Right, but speaking of other games, I haven't heard much of an update recently, but you guys have been aware of Quest for Motunui, right?
Yes.
It looks so fucking amazing.
It is Bionicle Dark Souls, and I love it.
It really is. It's just
They did everything. Like they 3D rendered the map, and it's literally based off of the Legend of Motunui. Because if you remember, okay, so Goldie, what I want you to do is before I stream the game this weekend, because I'm totally doing it, rewatch the trailer, and when we play the Motunui online game, you will notice that they mapped it perfectly to the 3D game.
Oh,
yeah, it is practically
the same place.
It is practically a 1-to-1 recreation.
When push comes to shove, let the fans do the work. They know what the fuck they're doing sometimes.
Yeah,
Generally,
goddamn right they do.
And they had all the masks in it, and there's like 6-player co-op.
I hope that if LEGO catches wind of this, they would be in support of this. And
they are.
Okay.
They literally are. Literally, they fucking said, yeah, go ahead. We're going to give you some guidelines so that you don't accidentally infringe any copyright. Go the fuck ahead, though. All clear.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, LEGO. Thank you, base LEGO.
LEGO knows how to do it right.
Be flexible and fun. Don't shoot down with C&Ds like you did with Jan Animations, man.
I mean,
That was sad.
I mean, let's be honest. This is probably the most hype Bionicle has gotten and like reinvigorated the old fans in a long fucking time.
Oh yeah,
So, like,
no,
it's like,
the
oh yeah,
energy's
fuck
still
yeah.
there because, like, I think what we loved about like the early years of it was that it was such such a genuinely unique concept that there genuinely wasn't anything like it before, because it was like, okay, it's based on, okay, so they're robots on a Polynesian-themed island, but despite them being robots, they're also supernatural because that's just fucking cool.
Yeah, they're spirits that represent the fucking elements, and that's cool as shit.
And they wear like magic masks and have magic powers, despite also kind of being robots and yet kind of not. But just the idea of it being like that explicit fusion of like sci-fi or it's science fantasy, because like it is explicitly magic, and they're in a scenically gorgeous place, and it's like they have this concept of like the two gods of good and evil, and like you're meant to play an active role in that sort of shit. It's like science fantasy. It's like really mythical, and the idea that they made a game just to explain all the lore and introduce you to it so completely is so good.
Yeah, by the way, I have my 2 figurines on my desk right now. I'm looking at them.
Sweet.
I'm looking at mine over there. I have a 2001 Tahu just to represent all the other sets that I couldn't keep with me. I just
I got Tahu Nuva and Tahu Nuva with adaptive armor, which is the Mystica one.
I have the 01 original one from.
Yeah.
Can I just say
I know,
it warms my heart that you guys get so hyped about these things, and
It was so good though.
It was so fucking good.
You guys are so adorable though.
You understand?
No, I want to point out.
2001. Holy shit! It was so fucking good. Like it was better than it had any right to be for a fucking line.
And the villain, like, I still think that the villain Makuta was like the most like threatening childhood villain that I was ever aware of, and also the most intelligent one that I
could buy that.
No,
Plus the fight scenes. Remember the fight scenes?
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah, or like what they did was when they made commercials, Lego was intelligent about this. They never actually showed them as toys. They showed story animations. And they were usually like high action story animations, but they deliberately made sure that you never like they didn't use children playing with them. They just wanted a way to further the story because they were trying to promote that too. So it was usually just an action shot that had a lore and story behind it. And every commercial. Yeah, every commercial had it. Like the Crashed commercial for 07, the modern one.
For the
fuck, that was good.
Literally
rejects.
No, that was before. That was 06.
That was the previous one, but yeah, no, the thing about the commercials is that they were so well done, because every time you saw one, it would literally it would give you an update as to like where in the story they were, or like what their objective is at the moment, or what the fuck ever. It would just, and it would also be really well fucking animated. It would be
good. No, yeah, the plot for the 07 one was literally, hey, we got 24 hours to revive God or the universe is dead.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the way to revive God, it's at the bottom of this fucking bottomless trench filled with mutagenic water, so we have to go and fucking mutate ourselves and mount a high fucking tech undersea expedition in order to fucking recover. It was so much good shit.
And and also that was where the prison was for all the extra super fucking dangerous criminals, so now they're all released, and also mutant, and also looking for the same thing.
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
What is it? There was another one too. And the last one. The music was actually good because this band still exists, by the way. They were formed because of this. Their name is Cryo Shell, and they actually made some legitimately good fucking music that is also hide your power level music, because you wouldn't know it's a Bionicle song until someone told you. Like, you guys know this one, Gravity Hurts.
Gravity Hurts is so fucking good.
Gravity Hurts is fucking incredible.
I'm afraid of saying this, but there's like chunks of Bionicle I have still yet to learn about. Because the only thing I know about Bionicle is the first like 6 set that my brother and I used to play around with. And they're just so creative that it's basically action figures mixed with Lego. You can't go wrong with that. So I can see so much of an appeal, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like I want to know more about Bionicle simply because there was so much more of this shit than I've ever seen.
Welcome to
Me and Solar will initiate you, Border.
Oh,
Yeah, we fucking will. Also, I just want to point out, they had a really bitchin' fucking comic series by DC.
Yes.
It was really fun.
Yes,
Hang on, let me find the fucking image.
I collected all of those when I was a kid because you could sign up to that for free. So I did.
I would read the books.
Oh no, I read those too.
Oh yeah, no, the books were also great. I read so fucking many of them.
No, Greg Firstday, who was the writer of all of it, was awesome. You could also talk to him because I was on the forums where he was, and you could just ask him questions on a thread called Ask Greg, and he would just respond to you. And there were times where he took a fan idea, credited the fans who came up with it, and would put it in the story sometimes.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that how? What was it? Isn't that how like Toe of Psionics came to be? Was just like one of the fans. Like there was a contest where you had to submit a story and like, oh yeah, if you design a new Toa, then it can be like official if it wins.
Yeah, and then they meant and the lore he wrote for him was he existed 1,000 years in the future and had to do some weird time travel shit to contact him and Bakama in the past. But the lore is like so expansive. Yeah, no, it did pop in for me, Dusk. No, and then people had like mocks that because my own creations. I did that. We also had what is it? Oh yeah, the story was so expansive that if you meet any character, there probably is like a major piece of writing about them. Even we think that in the pony fandom that it's impressive that we can make a backstory for certain OCs. Bionicle had a backstory for every character, and there were hundreds of them.
Including fucking Hydraction.
Yeah, no, that was before the fandom even got to touch them. Greg already wrote like 1,000 years of backstory for like each character, and I literally mean 1,000 because some of the characters are.
That is the craziest thing about that was probably the craziest thing I learned about the production of Bionicle because it was literally just like, yeah, no, from the get-go, he had everything fucking planned out, all of it. Including the massive twist at the end.
Yeah, no, they knew that since 2002 because they wanted it to survive its first year, and then after the first year, they approved it for more. And they literally got the idea because you might say, "Oh, a hero and a capsule. What does that mean?" Well, one of the producers went to Greg and talked about how he had cancer and had to take a pill every day. So he was like, "Hey, wait a minute. What if?" So he essentially had this idea of like, "What if you're God and like inside the capsule, you're deploying." Something within the inner atmosphere of God, who is also the universe, to essentially deploy a hero to do a mission to revive the God. And he wrote this out in 2002, and then over the next 8 years made that story.
And by the way, none of it got fucking leaked, ever.
Oh, that was the most impressive part. This never got out.
I have no fucking idea how they kept all that shit under wraps and never got leaked once. I don't. It's fucking witchcraft. It's sorcery.
No, even better. It was like a few years until after it was out, I think, that they actually did finally release the documents and say, yes, everyone, we really did plan this all along.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless.
Okay, I think.
Good lord, this went on. Like, oh my god, dude. Like,
fuck.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bionicle lore. That is always how it fucking goes.
The last thing I wanted to say, I like that Greg also really respected his age group because there were things in here that actually were legit just high action. There were some dark stuff, and there were actually some stuff that was like pants-shittingly terrifying about it. Like, I think the thing that freaked me out most was like I was reading one of the books, and they were in this tunnel where it's like, okay, it's what would be the Ignika moving through a cave with Takanuva, and they're in this dark cave, and Takanuva's like, "Oh, I'm a toe of light. I can just light up the cave," and the darkness of the cave like eats it, and then it's like, no, you can't.
Advanced darkness.
Yeah, right. And then they like, walk through the darkness, and somewhere in there, they trip over and find a mask. And so it implied that another Toa went in here, was killed, had his body shoved into the ground vertically, and we know nothing about him, other than you just found his mask, and that's it. And then, the freakiest part, they're like, oh, guys, I got some cable from the maintenance area. Let's tie ourselves together and hold hands. So they do that, and then they go up to the one part of the cave that is lit, and it's a gate in the middle. And then suddenly, Motoro, who's in the back, is looking in front of him, and he realizes, okay, his squad of 6 friends and Takanuva are in front of him, and something is holding his hand from behind. And he turns to look, and just before he can see anything, the hand slinks away, and the book never explains what that was. Actually, you later find out, but in the book itself, you don't get an immediate answer. You find that out much later what that was. But in the book, that was like a, oh shit, what the fuck was that moment?
Yep. It was foreshadowing. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my last thing, Goldie, don't worry.
Okay, yeah, no, because I was typing to Peter, because holy shit, you guys are going for fucking hours of Bionicle. God damn, we can't.
Yeah, no, I was
aware to Bionicle lore.
I was aware that we went on, yeah, and that was just my final note. Sorry about that.
So
that is always how it goes. You get one thing, and it just goes on a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Anyways.
Okay, so, alright, so, DuskFlare, you're up for whatever it is you love from your childhood for Nostalgia Circle. Fire away.
Oh, there's no way I'm gonna beat that.
Well, okay, this is not even a competition. Just, like, say something.
I don't know. I'm sort of still on the topic of things I used to rent at the Blockbuster/Videotron.
Dude, I fucking love that Blockbuster was a thing before Netflix. Like, going to the store, you have this odd smell, but this kind of smell that you know you're a Blockbuster. They have all the snacks and everything available. There was just... No, that is always exciting feelings, because you go around, you check every aisle for whatever movies there are, and then there's the ability to fucking rent games. Where was that shit, Netflix?
Oh my god. To give you an idea of how dated my Roku device is, if I pull out the remote, there is a Blockbuster button on it.
Oh my goodness.
Remember when they had a stream service?
Oh, remember when
the brief moment when they didn't take Netflix seriously enough until they did, and they really tried, and for a brief moment you had a Blockbuster stream.
I'm just remembering every Friday night after we got out of school during elementary and middle school, every Friday my mom would take us to a Blockbuster or Hollywood.
Yes.
And we just rent movies and yeah, my brothers definitely did the game stuff. I didn't start doing game stuff till the PlayStation 1 came out. But, oh, those were the good days. Oh, wow, nostalgia.
And there goes the door. I'll be back in a second. You guys continue.
No problem. When I went there, we always used to get, like, popcorn, and usually the thing that we tended to rent was actually, like, I think the most common thing we rented was, like, Pokemon VHSs. Mm-hmm. Just because that was one of the ways that we primarily saw that stuff for anime was like that. Apparently, when I was younger, we used to get late fees because we kept rewatching Peter Pan, and apparently Chitty Chitty Bang Bang too. It was also where I learned about the movie The Exorcist. That was another fun one.
Yeah, I remember there was this one aisle that the parents would always try and keep the kids away from.
Well, yeah, the funny part is that I found out that both me and my sister got fucked up because we just learned the concept behind that movie. And it actually legitimately fucked us up a little bit. Because, just the idea of visiting malevolence. However, my sister's solution to solving this problem was, I'll just watch the movie and find out. I'd never seen The Exorcist before, I just never got around to it. But my solution for getting over the trauma was, okay, I'm gonna do a circle and summon Satan now. It's about time to get over the fear. Let's just summon him already.
Okay, I'm back. So,
well, that works, I suppose.
What
other movies would people do people remember renting from there? Like, what was the one that you would keep? I think Mary fell asleep.
I think we bored her.
No, she hasn't slept yet. She's been up this whole time, and she's German, so she's She's 7 hours ahead of me, 6 ahead of Dusk, and like 9 ahead of you.
Okay, just to make sure that the snoring doesn't, become distracting. I'm gonna mute her for the time being.
Yeah,
she can type in and say, "Hey, why am I muted?" and then I'll unmute her and everything.
Or you just tag her and then say that too.
You know what? I'll do that too. So yeah. No, just the very feel of Blockbuster is that it's on a Friday night. You're in the store and you're ready to rent a movie and watch something or just do something. There's just that sense. It has a magic to that, and Netflix doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Like you can scroll through Netflix as much as you want, but it doesn't have the same feeling of literally I discovered my favorite childhood movie just wandering through the aisles, because back then when I was a child, anime was not a big thing over here. So I found basically I didn't even know that it was an anime at the time. I always thought it was a Russian production. Since it's basically a Russian fairy tale. It's called 12 Months and it's apparently produced by Toei Animation.
Okay.
From
That's
like
cool.
1980.
Oh, that's real old school.
Yeah, and it was just gorgeous, and I still, for some reason, I'll just be like wandering around, and the song will still pop into my head. Like, that's like really good for like basically 25 years later for a song to pop randomly into your head. I don't even remember the lyrics, I just know the song now.
Can I make you really happy about one particular thing, both you and Golden? Okay, so there are places in America where things develop differently, and I was actually just talking to a coworker about this, and he seemed really stoked about it. Because of the places I grew up in the States, some places haven't developed as much as others. There are places where not for the cars on the road, it would still be like 1998 because your cell phone doesn't get any service out there, and people still do things like they did in the 90s. And yes, in 2016, I went to 2 such places. One was in upstate New York, and the other was in Michigan, and neither one of them are significant enough to put on a map, but I know where they are. And also, yes, they actually still have like family video stores, and I think a few of them still have an operating Blockbuster because they don't really do Wi-Fi out there, and there's no cell phone reception, so they still have that, and that's still like life for them. It's just, if you go here, you wouldn't know you're connected to the rest of the world. You'd think you're just forever stuck in 1998, which, believe it or not, it's actually really cool to visit those places. I spent my summers there.
Okay. For a second there, I thought you were going to talk about the one remaining Blockbuster that is still left over in Oregon.
Yeah, like, there are places like that. I remember a lot of budget ones, too. Like, one was just called Family Video, and I know a lot of them were. Mm-hmm. But I do know of places where you can still have that experience where, like, because they don't have that internet infrastructure, and so they still live life like it's 1999. Including going to the video store.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of want to end that topic there and say this. I'll have a link to a video in the description that explains the history of Blockbuster, explained by none other than fucking Critical. He did a great job explaining that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that, and I'll let Galaxy take the floor and let her share her piece of nostalgia.
Nostalgia in general? I'm sorry, I was vibing for a second. What?
Just mention something from your childhood, something you really liked.
Like in general, there's no topic?
Yeah. That's what Nostalgia Circle is, yeah.
Okay. I remember having to basically just when I was a little fetus, I used to play with my DS.
Uh-huh.
I play with like those like fucking I remember listening to a lot of like movies that my mom convinced me to watch. One of them was Devil Wears Prada. The other was I'm sorry?
Are you having a good time listening to this?
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed that movie.
Liz is laughing because her childhood was very different.
The DS is just nostalgia. I'm sorry.
What?
You're getting how young you are.
okay. But I watched Devil Wears Prada when I was a little kid. I listened to a lot of like. I also played like I remember playing like what was it? I remember playing some Bratz games, including some what was it? G3.5. It was like G3.5 game.
A G3.5 game of what?
MLP.
Oh boy.
And
What was it? Was it like a puzzle game or what was it?
I think it was like about this like I think it was based on an episode where this fucking bitch of a pony was just like, "Hey, you want to go to this like fucking cute house to like buy cupcakes or some shit?" And then you have to like I think it was Scootaloo with her fucking bike or like literal like what are those called? Scooters? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you forget what a fucking scooter was called?
Yeah, for a second, sorry. I zoned out for a second. But I don't know, I remember how these happen. And also, believe it or not, one of that was also the time that I lost my voice for like a good month.
Oh wow.
It was also the time when I got it revived. I sang along to "The Time of My Life" by Black Eyed Peas. Not to mention, I watched the music video of. I think it's the most inappropriate video I've watched. It was "Teenage Dream" by Katy Perry.
See?
I used to watch that when I was a kid.
Okay.
And that was the most inappropriate thing I've ever watched as a kid, I thought. I used to play with, I don't know if Bliss knows this, considering how old this is, but I used to play with Littlest Pet Shops when I was little.
Oh,
I love Littlest Pet Shop. It's probably not the generation you're into.
I'm not going to fucking lie. I was half expecting it to be like, oh yeah, I played with fucking dinosaurs because Bliss is old.
Excuse you.
My first car.
Hey, you always sit there and go, I'm older than all of you whenever anything of fucking any sort of note comes up. I don't want to hear it.
No, it couldn't be with the dinosaur crap. I'm sure you played with them too. They were awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome.
They were awesome, yeah.
Just be like, you guys and your iPods. I had a Betamax and a Walkman.
Yes, I.
Wait, you had both? That was a fucking shot in the dark.
No, actually, I don't think I had those. I had a CD player. Portable.
Okay, so you're not as old. I did too, yeah. Remember nickel cadmium batteries?
Yeah.
God, they were so annoying because they would keep falling out of your pocket.
No, they would listen to like 2 or 3 albums and then they were dead. I hated that.
Yep. And then somebody came up with the brilliant idea of lithium ion, and thank fuck for that.
And thankfully, Elon Musk has gotten bored and he just made a better one. But anyway, let's go back.
Yeah. Anything left you want to finish, Galaxy?
I remember having I remember having to somewhat fall in love with like a fictional character on Facebook, no less.
Okay.
What? Damn, how do you sink that low?
They're bots, probably.
Yeah, probably. But also, I had a huge crush on Jack Black when I was little.
Jack Black?
Oh my.
It's like the same energy as when Emirichu said that she had a crush on Nicolas Cage. That's what it was for me.
You know what? That does not sound surprising. Everybody's got that one childhood crush on some big celebrity.
Yeah. In this case, it's fucking Jack Black.
No.
How does that make you feel?
No, Jack Black is a fun actor. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna sweep that under the rug.
Yeah. But what was it? What was something that I also did? Well, I used to go outside when I was little.
Thing, wasn't it? All right.
Outside? What the hell is that?
All right.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Not just go to malls, but remind you, I was in the Philippines when this all happened.
All right then. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Just go ahead and mention one more thing.
When I was during around, I guess, 2011, when I first came into the US, I watched WWE and watched Lion King for the first time.
Oh boy, WWE.
Oh yeah, WWE.
Yeah.
Back when wrestling was
That's a
good.
name I
they
ain't
had
heard in a
plot
while.
lines.
Back when it used to be good.
Show's great though. Just saying.
And I used to watch. For the first time, I watched Lion King.
How was that?
It was okay.
All right.
It was okay.
All right then.
I just want to bring that up because I feel like I'm making him old because of like that's the first time I actually watched Lion King.
I mean, I'm 32, so yeah, I am pretty old.
It's the aging that's making him old, not the lack of Lion King.
Lack of Lion King.
So I'm just imagining Goldie is just an old man with a long white beard. He looks like a sage. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm only 30. I'm only 33. I just haven't seen Lion King in a while.
It's like back in my day, we had the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, and we would come over to play games instead of going online, you wicker whackers.
Boy, I was around for the Nintendo.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
I feel like everybody was around for Nintendo in some form or another.
Yeah, no, I think it's time we pass the turn to Lightning Bliss.
Oh my God.
Back in my day,
in
we
your
did
day.
this thing where we went to the roller skating rink.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh god.
Oh, I remember that.
Dude.
I aged like 10 years just fucking hearing that.
Oh
Right?
man, that was a time. That was when rollerblading
Used to
and
go to
bikes
a
were
roller skate.
they were a huge deal back then. I remember. Like even through elementary and middle school, when the school wanted to have a party or a get together, or kids wanted to have a birthday party or something, it was nearly 80% of the time at the roller skating ring. And
Well, yeah, it's a cool place to hang out.
it was an awesome place to hang out. They had the classic music playing, and as well as the modern music playing, which was basically the mix of the 80s and 90s. You know, like when MTV actually played music videos on their channel. Oof.
Yeah, imagine that.
And you went to the roller skating rings, and you could either bring your own skates or you could rent them, and you could just skate with the music, skate with your friends. And they had a cafe or a dine-in where you could order hot dogs, popcorn, nachos. Oh, the nachos. Mm-hmm. and pizza.
Or churros.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm having a moment.
I hear it. Oh god, God, when was the last time I was at one of those?
I can't even remember the last time I was at one.
If you had told me I'd been to one like 10 years ago, I would believe you. I'd believe it's been that long.
Actually,
I
did
wouldn't be
go
surprised.
Let's see, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Back when I was in the Central Florida Bronies, one of our meetups was actually at a roller rink, and that was the first time I never really skated as a kid. I could never get the hang of it, and I actually did it for the first time, and I actually did okay.
Oh, wait, you know what it is? It has been so long since I've done it. I think I lived in Detroit the last time I did it. And in fact,
Can't have shit in Detroit.
yeah, right. And no, the last thing I ever actually did involving skate. No, wait, I did do it once in New Hampshire. But I think the thing I did most recently, I have done ice skating in a hockey rink sooner than I have actually roller skated.
No, I was around for and so was Goldie technically. I was around to see The Lion King in theaters. I was around to see the re-release of Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. I saw that in theaters. That was on. That introduced me to Darth Vader. Holy cow! Seeing Jurassic Park live in theaters that blew my 7-year-old mind.
That must have been terrifying.
Oh,
They
it was
have
terrifying.
real dinosaurs here.
Daddy, dinosaurs are real! No, sweetie, it's CGI. No, Daddy, I know how movies work. They can't film something unless it's right in front of a camera. So they had to bring dinosaurs back for them to film them. That's how it
Son of a
works.
child. Oh dear
You
God.
precious cutie.
and nostalgia, like I mean, again, reaching back here, and not many people watched it, but Rainbow Bright, that was one of my favorite cartoons growing up, and I'm really hoping to do a Mystery Science Theater video with Silver Quill on that video at some point, because I want to watch the movie Rainbow Bright the Star Stealer.
I hate to bring the conversation, but when it comes in the nostalgia circle, it's really just narrowed down to just one thing. So that way, like, firstly, you don't want to exhaust yourself, and second, it's something that a lot of us could have a connection with.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll steer away from the Rainbow Bright stuff, but man, the time portable CD players when I was in middle school to
Oh my god.
you didn't get there were no cell phones back then, guys.
There were no
These
there were
things.
no iPods. There were no MP3 players. It was different.
MP3 players didn't really come around until I was in the 7th to 8th grade. And I remember my dad buying me one when I was using portable CD players at the time. I remember loving the crap out of my really big CD player. You know, those really big stereo systems you buy, and you buy all your CDs, stick them in, you just play the CD over and over. I think mine could actually hold 3, though. That was a bragging rights for me.
You load it with like 6 double D batteries, and then you had a bunch of skaters like holding it over their shoulder.
No.
Yes.
I'm talking about the ones where you plug it into an outlet and it's got the big speakers attached.
Yeah, but I'm saying a lot of those also had a little hatch on the back if you didn't have power, and you just shove like 6 6D batteries in the back.
Oh, so the boombox.
Yeah, the boombox.
I didn't have a boombox, but yeah.
I remember the boombox. I thought the boombox was the coolest fucking shit when it was first coming
It
around.
still is.
I
in a
remember-
retro style.
I remember the, I don't know if you guys remember seeing one of these, or maybe Golden does, but back then, when you wanted to make a home video, you had to, my folks had to pull out this really big cam recorder. The reason why it was so big is because they had to stick a VHS tape into it, and then they would hit recording on the camera, and the and the camera would record everything onto the VHS tape. That's how you were able to make home videos back then. This thing was huge.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I remember seeing them. My parents used to use them a lot. I was forbidden to use it. I never had much of a chance to work with those when I was a kid. It wouldn't be...
Yeah, because you can't use it without
They were
film,
too
and that
big!
film's expensive.
They were too big. I couldn't use it either. It was too big. I think it weighed 20 pounds. Those things were massive.
I can outdo you in one thing as far as biggest music playing device that I grew up with goes.
Oh, God, what?
Go for it.
Okay, imagine this, about the size of a table, and it was an old, like, 40s record player that my family just had,
Hell
because
yeah.
I grew up with some records, playing at certain times, and I don't know if it was just passed on through the family or not, but it was, as a piece of technology, it is cool, and it's still cool in a retro way, even though it's funny that everything this thing can do now fits in your pocket. But it was this, like, giant retro player that also had a radio built in, but it was set up in, like, a stylishly retro way, because it was actually from the time period. This is when this was music technology.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just one more.
All right.
Again, no cell phones. How did you call your friends?
You had
Landline.
to put a quarter in a phone booth.
No, you used
Yeah.
landline. You used the landline telephone that was connected to the wall.
That's just something I haven't
Landline?
heard in war.
And you also pissed off your siblings because they couldn't go online.
Yeah, and well, you couldn't. Okay, we didn't really have an online computer at the time when we still had the land phones, but you couldn't. Apparently, you couldn't make 2 different phone calls in the same house because they were all attached to one line.
Yep.
My friends could have, no, not my friends, my siblings could have eavesdropped on me at any given time if I was on the phone call with a friend. Oh, we also mailed each other letters.
Yeah,
Letters!
you know, A, B, C, D,
No.
E, F, G. You would just send letters to each other.
Isn't it just insane that, like, to think how you could just instantly talk to your friends now, but previously, so it'd be like if your friends were nearby, we'd be like, "Hey, Borther, I would like to visit you." It's like, "Okay, cool. I'll see you in 2 hours." And then back in the day, it was like if you wanted to see your friends, you had to like arrange it in advance and call them on the landline, hope that they're there, and be like, "I would like to see you next Tuesday. Is that okay?"
No, that is no joke. I had a childhood friend. She probably lives about an hour away from us now, but when I used to live in Austin, Texas, it was about a good hour and a half to 2 hours. And yeah, if I wanted to have her over for a sleepover, or vice versa, it took a month of planning.
Yeah, I can see
At
that.
least.
Technology today, man. It's just like Aeon says. Hey, yeah, Solar, you want to just come hang out like in a couple weeks?
Sure, why not?
Not even for weeks. With modern technology, you can be like, Borther, I'll be there in 2 hours.
Understandable, Border. I will see you then.
All right. I think we're ready to pass the next turn.
Also, I think Marie woke up.
Marie, are you awake?
Yeah.
Hey,
Are you sure? Marie.
welcome back to the land of the living.
I am so sorry. I think I just passed out. Oh my
It's-
god.
It's fine. It's fine. So we're talking about Nostalgia Circle, and I'm gonna say only just one thing. Just mention one thing that you remember from your childhood.
Alright, I already got something in my head.
Okay.
What I remember from my childhood would definitely be Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh shit! Smash Brothers Melee. Everybody played that on GameCube, and holy crap, man! Like,
Yeah, it was great.
yeah, it was, and like, it's amazing on how far Smash Brothers has come from the N64 to the GameCube, all the way up to like I haven't had much of a luxury to have access to playing the later installments after Brawl, but. Fucking Melee, dude, like, the thing I love the most about Melee is their soundtrack. Like, aside from the updated gameplay, the music, I don't know what it is, but even when Brawl was out, it didn't compare too well with the Melee soundtrack. Unless there's something because, like I said, I haven't played the later installments after Brawl. Sorry if I'm overtaking everything, but yeah, no, Smash Brothers Melee was... No, that game was the shit during the time of the GameCube. I think I drove everyone into silence.
No, you're good.
No,
Good.
I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, same.
Something
I
that I always thought was hilarious to do, and this is it was during the Smash Brothers Versus. My brother and I would have our free for all or survival, they would call it. Something that would be fun to do is change the damage ratio, where like one hit could get you killed, or you can go in sudden death mode, and just like some of that is funny because they fly off so.
I mean,
hard.
no, that also reminds me of like Halo 3 custom games when you did like crazy shit like what was
Oh god, don't get me started.
Infection, 300% speed, 50% gravity. Do you know what I mean, Border?
Oh, I know exactly what you fucking mean.
And
That was terrifying.
no,
Yeah, no, that setting is typically referred to as on crack.
no. To make it even more sadistic, switch the items that have only bombs and hammers. The giant mouth goes like.
I can just like remember like my twin sister and me would play this like all the time. But the thing is, since we were so little when we played it, we weren't good at playing actual games. Like,
Ha, plebeian.
actually playing the games for real. So we never played it for real. We just played as Zelda and Peach, and we called it Prince. We never like called it by its real name, Smash Bros. Melee. We always called it Princess Fighting because we would only we would only pick the princesses.
Time for turnips.
Time for a bitch fight.
And like we never actually fought in the fighting game. We were kind of like talking as the princesses. It was so weird. We also always picked out the Kirby stage because we liked it a lot.
Which stage?
Dreamland or
Yeah.
Fountain of Dreams. Oh, okay.
And then when it was like time for the sudden death, like the bombs would fall, we would just stand under the platform and just like, oh no, the bombs.
You mean the proximity mines?
No, the bob-ombs. Whenever you ran out of time and it went to sudden death, okay?
Oh yeah, no, that's to help end the round faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Like, I have yet to catch up on Smash Brothers because I haven't been able to have access or like financial access to playing like the recent consoles. Like, there's Ultimate, but I still want to check out Smash Brothers Wii U.
Smash Brothers Wii U wasn't bad.
Okay.
I remember playing it. Well, I played both versions actually. I played the one on the 3DS and the one on the Wii U.
Okay.
They were all right. They were kind of. I don't want to say bad. They were kind of mediocre, but they were still fun to play. Like, especially if you just weren't taking things seriously. You're just like, yeah, I want to play some fucking Smash Bros. Online with some people.
Okay. All right, so I think it's time we pass it out to MasterCode.
So mine's gonna be pretty short. It was gonna migrate into something else, but then Aeon kind of told it. But basically, I was just gonna say Legos in general, where basically like Legos were like a big part of my childhood, making a whole bunch of different creations. I had a big old tub that had like hundreds of pieces and whatnot.
Legos.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, Legos. You had the freedom to make anything you wanted. Like, despite the fact that they're like instruction, like labels and such, like, but this piece on that one and this piece on that one and everything.
They're more like guidelines than actual rules.
Right.
You pretty much get the gist, though. My brother was extremely creative whenever it came to making Legos, and I remember once he had one where he built an entire shuttle that was actually brought to life. It was like it worked like a machine.
I mean, to contribute to this conversation, I literally just bought and then built a Y-Wing, like, a couple days ago.
Oh, dude, like what kind of Y-Wing? Like
never shared
a
pictures.
full, like, shaped Y-Wing?
Oh, I just need to complete the engine, folks, because that's like an 8-thing step, and I didn't finish that last part, so it's almost done. I just need to finish the last part of the engines. It's huge, for one thing. Like, the body itself without the engines is as long as my forearm.
Dude, whenever you're finished, I would love to see you, like, take a picture of it and, like, post it on Twitter or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, I would love to see that. I'll definitely have a link in the description for that one.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what it meant. I got bored. I'm like, I want a spaceship. I'm gonna get a Y-Wing, because I saw that at Amazon, and now I kind of want it. So now I got it. I just need to finish the last part of the engines. But what was that when you got MasterCode?
Would you say that again?
Did you buy any recently? Because I got, like I said, I just got a Y-Wing, and I also bought, me and Solar were here for this. I did buy some of the Speed Champion stuff because I love cars, so I do have a few, like, I have a Porsche, a Nissan GTR.
I have one of those too.
Yeah, 2 Dodge Chargers, and I also have a Shelby Mustang made of Lego from those sets. I love those.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I just had a big old tub of Legos. It was just a mixture of just about everything. I had like a dedicated area in the living room. I could make like a little Lego city I could build or destroy or whatever I want. And then eventually, long story short, Bionicle. We already covered that.
Yeah, we don't want to go into that territory again.
Anyway, I gotta work tomorrow, so later.
All right.
Oh, bye.
Wow. Bye.
Okay then, Ryley,
Bye.
you now have the floor.
Well, I thought I'd just rather tell a story to keep it short.
Okay.
I was like
Okay.
11 or 12 years old. I was coming home from this theme park for a field trip with a friend and my mom, because she was like the, the chaperone of the thing and stuff. And to be a dick, I decided to lift my friend's soda as he's like drinking it, and he ends up coughing a bit, and he punches me in the fucking face, and my mom.
Yeah, absolutely deserved.
Yeah, my mom was clapping for him too. He's like, and I'm like, Mom. He's like, well, you deserved it.
Beautiful.
So, like, memory I like to think back of with my mom and one of my old friends.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's my
Aw.
nostalgic thing.
Okay. All right. Well, Solar, take it away.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it right now. Fucking Sonic Adventure 2. There are. Look, I will just be the first to. Well, not the first to say it. This Sonic Adventure 2 by no means is a perfect game. However, it is still one of my favorite games of all time, and I dare say that it is probably my favorite game of all time, period. It really just did a lot of things so fucking right for all of its flaws. Like, in terms of story and scope, and even though, like, the character development kind of did get dialed back a bit, especially in regards to Tails, a lot of the characterization was pretty fucking solid for a GameCube game in the, like, what 2001? 99?
When
It was, I think it was 99 for the Dreamcast, and then it got ported to the GameCube in 2001, if I remember correctly. That sounds about right.
That sounds right.
I personally played the GameCube version. I didn't really, see much of a difference between it and the Dreamcast version. There are obviously differences between them, and looking back on it now, yeah, the Dreamcast version does have a lot of things that the GameCube version doesn't. But, like, the thing about it is, like, the thing about it that I've noticed is just a lot of people like to jump on the bandwagon that, oh, it's a bad game because whatever. But, like, a lot of the time when you see people playing it, a lot of the issues they run into are their own damn fault because they don't learn the game. And then it's just like, oh, the game isn't fucking playing itself. It sucks. It's broken. For me, it was, like, I'll put it to you like this. The first level of the game, City Escape, or, like, the first one if you choose the hero route. But let's be honest, everybody fucking picked the hero route when they fucking played it because you got to play as Sonic. Who the fuck wouldn't? But City Escape really just fucking nailed the tone of the game down right off the bat in its fucking opening cutscene. Which, for those of you that somehow don't know how City Escape fucking opens, it opens with Sonic fucking jumping out of a helicopter, tearing off part of it to use as a fucking snowboard, and then diving down onto the city to fucking street surf and escape the cops.
I want to point out, I did
That's how it opens.
download that song to a disc, and during the BronyCon's 2017 road trip, when we entered New York City. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the thing. This was there. So on the way there, when we were getting Finn, I actually did put City Escape on a disc, popped it in, and then had it on loop while we were going through New York City.
Oh, absolutely. You got it. City Escape is such a fucking good... It's such a good fucking theme.
Yeah, no, it is, especially when you're in a road trip, in a car with a sport mode, going through New York City at 2 a.m.
But, yeah, no... I also want to say that, honestly, even though the script itself does have its fair share of really bad dialogue, the voice acting from the characters themselves, pretty solid. Except Tails, he kind of sucks. Kind of, feel a little bad for that because Tails is my boy. But yeah, a lot of the characters, their voice acting is actually pretty solid, even given what they have with the script, which it's not the greatest. But it is still just, it's a fun thrill ride that you don't really have to think about too hard. I mean, yeah, there's like some intricacies, there's some stuff below the surface, but really, if you just get into it and you just get into it and have a good time with it, that's really all it's there for. It is still, hands down, probably my favorite game to date, though, just because the tone, the energy, and just the sheer amount of fucking stuff to do in it is crazy. Because not only does it have not one, but two stories, well, technically three, because if you beat the second one, then you get into the last story, which is like an extra 3 missions, but still technically 3. There is a lot of shit to do, and not to mention there's also the Chow, which are completely optional, but they are fucking adorable, and if you don't take at least a little bit of time to fucking raise one, you're a monster. I'm sorry, it's just, them's the rules. I didn't write them. If you didn't raise Chow, you're a monster, probably a sociopath.
Or who was your favorite? You definitely raised one, so which one was your favorite?
Oh, I have so fucking many Chow, are you kidding me?
Favorite. Choose between your children, brother.
How am I supposed to choose between? Honestly, there's a fucking there is a Sonic Chow that I spent basically perfecting because I would sit there and reincarnate it over and over again. By the way, yeah, no, fucking Chow have a surprising amount of depth to them. Holy fucking shit. It's like, yeah, no, it's a little virtual pet that you fucking take care of and you can have it run races and shit like that. But holy fuck, there is a surprising amount of depth to how you go about raising them. Because you raise their stats in two different ways, primarily. There's the Chaos Drives, which you get from defeating enemies, and there's the small animals, which you just find in the stage. And essentially, Chaos Drives, they're just like, yeah, they give you a small bonus, not that great, but I mean, you can carry a fuck ton of them, so why the fuck wouldn't you? Small animals, they give you bigger bonuses, they also give your Chow attributes based on the animal that you give them. So, your Chow, depending on what animals you give them, can actually start learning new actions that they will perform in the Chow Garden, depending on what you give them. Like, say you give it a parrot. Now your Chow knows how to sing, so sometimes it'll sing whenever it's in the Chow Garden. Or, you have a warthog. The Chow knows how to dash, so it'll dash when it's around the garden. Like, the characters that you take care of the Chow with, the Chow will actually recognize that they will develop favorites for certain characters because certain characters treat them a certain way. There is just so much stuff in the Chow Garden it's not even the main game. They didn't have to include it at all. It was not necessary at all. They still put it in, and they put in so much fucking effort into it. I think that's probably the thing about it that really kind of irks me.
Yeah.
What?
Apologies, I need to do a forced restart. My computer froze.
Okay.
All right, well, whenever...
I just want to say, though, I had a light Chow. I know the feeling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, like, the thing that really kind of irks me the most about people that dislike... Because, like, I get it. Like, it's not the type of game for everybody, and there is a bit of a learning curve to it. The part that really irks me is when people say, oh yeah, this game was lazily made, or like they didn't put effort into it.
If you think that's lazily made, play Sonic Boom or Sonic 06.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Or suffer through the inferior obstacle design that is Carnival Night Zone in Sonic 3.
It is just... It's just basically, it's not the greatest one on the planet. But it is my personal favorite, and the amount of hours that I poured into it as both a child and an adult... God, actually, let me see how many hours I have logged in on Steam right now.
It's probably too fucking much.
Currently it says I have 105.8 hours. I can guarantee you the total number of hours, including the time I've actually played on the GameCube and shit like that, probably closer to fucking 300. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
All right.
Seems legit.
I think it's fair that we pass on the turn and I go and end the nostalgia circle with my turn. And Peter, I don't know if this applies to Solar or not, but Peter, do you remember when there used to be a thing where you would bring an Xbox to a friend's house to have a big multiplayer on Halo?
Oh, like a LAN party?
Yeah.
Oh, LAN parties. Oh, don't get me started on LAN parties.
Oh, God, dude. I remember whenever me and my neighborhood friends had sleepovers, we would do a thing where we had an Xbox we would still connect it through Wi-Fi, but we had like an Xbox in the basement and one in the living room upstairs. And we would do that stuff, and we play like Duck Hunt. That was a fun one. Co-op.
Duck Hunt, dude.
All this other fun stuff, and gods, it was so fun.
No,
Fat Kid.
Yes, Fat Kid.
I fucking loved Fat Kid. That was honestly probably one of my favorite fucking modes to play. Holy shit. Fat Kid is fucking pure chaos.
Okay, so... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Goldie, at some point, get the Master Chief Collection and then someone else will stream it, and we can all just play Fat Kid.
Sure
Yes.
thing. I'll have to invest time with that. But no, something that I always remember, like I wasn't as involved with playing Xbox as my brother did, but I do remember I would periodically play not two-player mode. I'm used to saying that. Multiplayer mode, or I forgot what the mode is called, but basically it's a combat one where everybody's against each other. And there was one day where it kind of turned into a bit of a snow day. I was in high school at that time, and as soon as I was about to arrive to the next class, I look outside and there's a little bit of snowflakes, and then, Brett, I think it's time you go home. Everybody else is doing the same thing. We're like, okay, cool. So as soon as we all got home, my brother called his friends over. They brought their Xbox and a separate TV and connected 2 different Xbox consoles to the big screen and their screen, and they were all like, it was a big sausage party of playing Halo multiplayer with LAN parties.
That's a comparison.
This is back.
Hey, Bliss.
Hey, Bliss.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about Halo LAN parties.
Xbox LAN
Yeah.
parties, yeah.
Now, have you ever done it like because we did it as a drinking game at one point?
Shit, we have
where-
Vlad.
Wait, we did this as a drinking game at one point where I had like, I think it was like Bacardi and Red Bull, was maybe a couple beers too, and then me and my friends would also do that, and we would have a LAN party, but then we would also get like completely shit-faced.
Vlad, you joined the call where we're live streaming one of my podcasts.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see.
and it was my turn to kind of conclude all this, and I was talking about Xbox LAN parties.
Ah, yes. I never experienced those. I experienced GameCube LAN parties, though.
Wait, there was a GameCube LAN party?
Me and my friends, when we had a fuck ton of GameCubes because of my neighborhood, that was apparently the cool thing. We would engage in large-scale Mario Kart. Large-scale Mario Kart double.
Mario Kart.
Large-scale Mario Kart Double Dash. If you ever wanted to see a bunch of preteens so ready to beat the shit out of each other with their fists, that was the place to see it.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the nostalgia circle from there. God, we've been here longer than expected, so let's go ahead and go straight to Q&A.
Yes.
As usual, there's always going to be a lot of time, like there's always going to be a delay, so I'm going to allow the time for the chat to ask their questions, and then, good God, this podcast has been going on for almost 2.5 hours.
Ha! Those are rookie numbers. I just got out of 9 hours of D&D.
Yeah,
Aha.
that's absolutely nuts.
Lord.
I got out of 10 hours of working at Skynet.
Haha, bitch. I've been in a 12-hour session of D&D. We went from 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning.
I was once in a 17-hour call.
That's actually, I feel that on an emotional level.
That's me dropping my dick on the table.
Pretty much.
Dende.
Beautiful.
I'm so done.
Alright, so here we go. Okay. First question from Equestria Guy. Did you know there's a 3D version of Sock Pop's Fishy? Yes, I did. I haven't had the chance of playing that yet. Let's see. Okay, so Marie, this is a question for you. How was your nap time to visit the Great Before from Seoul? Oh my god. Oh, you're a Dick Spinell lover.
Well, with a name like that, what were you
Hold on, Marie.
She didn't understand the question.
Yeah.
Try again.
Have you seen the movie Soul?
Sadly, I haven't.
Okay. Well, okay, in the movie Soul, the main character goes through a part of the afterlife called the Great Before, which is a section where new life begins. So,
Okay.
Oh my lord, what was that?
I heard that too.
What was that?
I don't know.
What was going on?
It was God!
Well,
For your son.
See, whenever somebody says it was God, I just immediately assume that it's fucking Emerald Comet. Because he's our DM for the game that I just got out of, and he always refers to himself as God when he's DMing. It's hilarious.
just like him. That's great.
Oh yeah, no, his fucking games are really fucking good. Holy shit!
So
I was going to write, it's the sound of God screaming into the void in the chat, and then whoever screamed out it was God. You just beat me to the punch. Why?
What happened?
Okay, so next question. What is your guilty pleasure in video gaming? I'm pretty sure there's a handful of games that we know are bad, but we still enjoy playing.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure fucking Sonic Adventure 2 would count as a guilty pleasure, considering what everybody else apparently fucking thinks about it.
I don't think many people even remember mine, but it would be Rise, Son of Rome.
I remember Rise, Son of Rome.
No, I love it because it's literally just a love letter to everything you think of when you think of Roman history. It's not meant to be accurate, it's just a love letter to everything you think about. And I was like totally fanboying. I had a history boner for Rome at the time. So I'm just like, I know this isn't accurate, but I don't fucking care.
I think it was more the problem that everybody had with it was that everything was relegated to a QuickTime event. The only cool thing was the moving up, like the scripted events where you form Testudo and you fucking move. Testudo was the best part of that game, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
I mean, I didn't actually use the QuickTime events to finish off most of it. I only used it kind of just when I felt like it. So you could skip it, but it was there often. Yeah.
Well,
I'd have to.
There's actually a good number of games that I would consider as a guilty pleasure, but watch. Like, after the podcast is over, I'm going to regret, like, crap, I forgot this. I can actually name one, actually two, and they're both N64 games, one of which is Cruisin' USA. It's a stupid-ass racing game where you race across the United States. And it's stupid fun, yeah. Not many of you are familiar with it, are you?
Nope.
I have heard of it, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Alright, that's fair enough. Again, this is just me from my older days. The other guilty pleasure is Aero Fighters Assault, which is basically a broken down version of Ace Combat.
My guilty pleasure is Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Did I touch buttons on Solar?
No.
You were just like,
what happened?
I heard a grunt.
Oh, well, that wasn't me.
My guilty pleasure game is Splinter Cell Double Agent. That's mine.
Huh. Now I know of Splinter Cell, but I don't know much about it, so
Splinter Cell Double Agent is the Splinter Cell game that everybody forgets is a Splinter Cell game because it's just so forgettable. Okay. Even though it has the most important thing in the series, it's the game where Sam's daughter died. And everybody forgets that the game exists.
Okay, so Bliss, apparently you were given a question. Have you eaten yet?
Yeah.
I got a question for them. Are they my parents? No.
Answer the question.
Are you asking the question?
Okay, I will. Have you eaten yet?
Yes, I've eaten.
Good.
I bear witness to this. She has done the visual task. She has eaten, and I've seen it.
Witness me.
Okay, so this was asked multiple times. I don't get it. It says, why is Lightning Bliss the second Brony analyst? Okay, what does that mean?
But what?
The second Brony analyst, if people want to factually know about this, according to, believe it or not, Digi and Paleo, it was Goldie. The second one apparently was Paleo.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
I'll tell you why I am the second Brony analyst. It's because I am half the pony everybody else is. Ha!
Holy shit, I've never seen somebody punch themselves in the face so hard.
She pushed herself so hard she became half the pony she said she was.
I have no self-esteem.
Oh, somebody asked an interesting question. Have any of you guest starred on Brony Bucks podcast on YouTube? I have not. I don't know if I plan to.
I have not, no.
I've been on him once.
It would be fun at some point to have a couple of other guests on here instead of just our close circle of friends. But no, like,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, that kind of answers the question there.
Bronny Buck, is that the guy who, like, when he types, it sounds like a gorilla strapping 2 keyboards to his chest and then banging his chest?
What?
Probably.
If you're talking about terrible grammar skills, that's fucking FNGR.
No, I was making an old Limbo joke because whenever Bronny typed, it's like he sounded like a gorilla fucking going ham on a keyboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like he'll go ham, and it looks like his fingers are like too fat to push one key.
It's the one fucking positive memory I have of that place.
Bronny, we love you. Just saying.
I love Bronny so much.
Same here. I met him at BabsCon twice, so yeah. He cool.
Bronny, good person. Bronny's a good person.
Bronny's
He's
good.
good people.
What?
Also, he's a good photographer too.
Okay, so it says, "What's your opinion on my NFL team, the Buffalo?" I don't watch football, dude.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about football. I really don't.
The only thing I care about football are the Super Bowl ads.
That is, like, literally, that is one of the things I have never understood is people that legitimately enjoy football. Like, just, or sports in general, if I'm being completely honest. I have never, like, seen the appeal of it.
Hey, hockey is
Same.
fun when they fight.
I used to.
I mean,
love
That is the same mentality as, like, the guy that watches NASCAR exclusively to see the crashes.
I just want to point out, those are the only 2 sports in which it is perfectly okay for you to either get into a fist fight with someone, or, in the case of NASCAR, the only sport where you are totally allowed to make someone crash in a fiery explosion, and then get into a fist fight with them after, and it is not against the rules. I love that.
Blue Griffin or
Do the rules say that I can't punch him? Well, no. Alright, then I'm punching him!
No, the rules say I can't punch him, I will ram him.
Blue Griffin Aozora asks, "Do you like shmup games like Gradius 3? And do any favorites come to mind?" There's, in a general basis, I enjoy shoot 'em up games. It's when a game starts to get a little too difficult to keep up with. Like, a few weeks ago, I played a game called Truxton on the Sega Genesis, and it's like, dude, the beacon of progress is just so much insanity. Like, you're doing the same thing and hoping for a different result. That's what it comes down to. Retro Gamer Kevin asked the stream chat, "What was the most impossible game that any of you guys ever played and live streamed?"
Oh, God.
Cuphead.
What fucking game have I beaten on stream, actually?
I don't have any that I've streamed and beaten, but I'd have to say that the most difficult game I ever played was, like, initial launch Demon Souls on the PlayStation 3. Because the fight against the Dragon God was fucking impossible until they patched it.
Yeah.
Like, literally impossible or just hard impossible?
Like, literally impossible. When you got, like, to his 3rd state, wherever you're supposed to, like, run up and, like, start stabbing him in the nose, he would do an entire section clearing move that there was no way you could block. It didn't matter how much health you had. It was an instant kill. Okay. And everybody was like, "Yo, FromSoft, what the fuck?" And they were like, "Oh shit, wait a minute, the coding was off, we fucked up, we're sorry." And they patched it like a month later.
Nice. I mean, the hardest thing that I did not stream it. I suppose I'll count this. Does anyone remember the Halo Vidmaster challenges?
Oh,
I did, and then beat all 7 of them. But the 2 most difficult, the most difficult one probably had to be the you had to do, I think it was like Black Eye Iron on the last level on Legendary. That one was the most difficult in terms of like doing it, but the one that was most difficult in terms of coordination, and actually no, this may have been the most difficult, was if you guys remember this one, what is it? Well, Endurance, the one where you had to go into a firefight mission and you had to make it to like the 5th set on Heroic. Like, after I beat it, it became much easier, but I think the most tragic time was we respawned only for a chieftain to come in, go invincible, and we were all 4 of us got cornered. We got raped.
Yeah, dude.
That's a pretty apt summation of what would happen in that situation.
Yeah, and we were like so optimistic. It's like, we came back, reinforcements, woo! And then the chieftain just rounds the corner.
Chieftain, allow me to introduce myself.
And then immediately, the first thing it does, because bullets do half damage, is it pops its invincibility. And we were just like, oh, shit.
Alright, so
Beginning of the end.
let's go for one more question.
For me, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't actually streamed this one. The most difficult game I fucking played, however, probably getting over it with Bennett Foddy. And you know what? I fucking beat that game too. So suck my dick, Bennett Foddy. I beat your challenge.
There was a lot of fucking rage in that.
Oh god, yes.
By the way, Chad, please ask more legitimate questions instead of playing the whole orb menu joke. Come on. Be a little more clever in your questions. Okay, here we go. One last question. Before I answer that, the hardest game that I've ever played, I don't have an answer because there's too many, and I'm somebody who can be a real picky asshole when it comes to playing games. So that's how I'm going to end it there. But Equestrian Guy, as far as having plans to play Uno on Twitch, I'll have to get a better computer because I can't stream it on this computer. Like, even when, like, I included, like, I played around with a few other people, including Logic, and his microphone got fucked up. What's so stupid is that you have to have some kind of Ubisoft account in order to have access to, the, like, fucking Uno. And even
You play?
Yeah, it was so dumb. And even after accessing it, the fucking call was lagging out so many times, it got ridiculous. So I'm like, how the fuck do you even play this? So yeah, it's gonna be a little while before I can do Uno on Twitch. I would fucking love to do that. So
I see a question for Aeon.
yeah, okay.
There's a question for us too, by the way, Bliss.
Okay, do Aeon first and then me and Solar.
Question for Aeon, are you playing a part, or is your personality all natural? Sorry if that sounds rude. This was copy and pasted.
No, that's fine. To a point, like, I do flare out some of the stuff, but Aeon, for the most part, is me in a certain mood. It's not all of me, but it is me in a certain mood. So, in a sense, yes, but just not all the time.
Okay then.
And also, yes, that laugh is actually one of my natural laughs.
Alright, so,
Can confirm, have heard him laugh.
alright, so what was the question for Solar and Bliss?
So yeah, the question for me and Bliss was, hang on, let me look at it more directly, because let me scroll up a wee bit.
Just a skoosh.
Just a skosh, a smidge.
The tip of the willy.
Okay, so Solar and Bliss and anybody else that plays D&D, who's your favorite character that you have played and for what reason?
Oh, that's hard.
Oh. I'm currently liking Bata, even though I'm being careful with him, but there were moments as Salem that I really enjoyed. Namely, using Cone of Cold on stuff, and that time I was talking to the Lich. As Bata, anytime I have big, strong energy.
Big Strong
believes in you.
I mean, I currently have 3 characters right now, and one of them is basically over and done with because that session is officially over, and the videos will be loaded up later. Amber was fun. Amber was basically me, only full-blown emotions on my sleeve, like not holding back sorts. Typical. Whereas Hoopla, she is somebody I am actually playing, and I mean, to some extent, she is a part of me, but she was me if you were to meet me as a child. Basically all about having fun and cheering people up and laughing and pranking and just having a good time. And then you have Dame the Chimera, and she's about being regal and responsible, and you know, just she's kind of more stoic than anything else. Of all the 3, Amber comes naturally. Dame I have to put effort into, and Hoopla, she's just pure fun. So I guess the answer is Hoopla.
All right then.
All right, so my characters, fucking, jeez, how many do I have? Okay, so I remember Soren. That was actually GoldenFox's character in Curse of Strahd before he ended up bowing out of that. I remember I enjoyed kind of tweaking his character around and putting my own spin on it. That was really fun. I also had that really cool moment at the end where I revealed that I had multi-classed into a paladin. That was a lot of fucking fun, very iconic. Honestly, I think my favorite character currently is the one that's in Emerald's game. He is a Warforged fighter named Bulwark, or rather, his actual name is BU1W4RK, but, you know, it spells Bulwark in fucking Leet speak, so,
I was about to fucking say you Leet speaking shit.
I mean, it was really funny, because literally when I introduced Emerald to my character, he was like, oh yeah, no, actually in the fucking lore of the world that I have set up, Warforged do have numbers in their names, so you're actually just spot on. So that was, I guess that was like a fucking good omen, or some shit, because I have honestly been having the fucking time of my life. First off, he has an AC of fucking 24, which for those of you that don't play 5e means, yeah, you're probably not going to fucking hit him ever, period. Mm-hmm. But, he's also a Cavalier, so that's basically the Protect Friends subclass. Where it's like, oh yeah, you hit somebody, now they have disadvantage on attacking anybody but you, and good fucking luck for them trying to attack you because you have 24 AC. And he also has a fucking mount that is like, it's an ambush drake named Maxwell. He's like a giant fucking puppy. He's adorable. He's also terrifying. Perfectly fine. Let's see, what else? What else about him is really cool? He speaks fucking Primordial, which actually turned out to be really fucking useful, because we ended up actually talking to people from the plane of Earth, and they didn't speak Common, so it was up to me and Ninja's character, who is a Tabaxi monk named Kapala. Also, Kapala doesn't have arms. He kicks everything to fucking kill them, which, you know, honestly, good on him for fucking making a character like that. Putting a little self-imposed weakness on there. Really cool. The one thing that really just fucking epitomizes the kind of character that Bulwark is I said this earlier, I got out of a fucking 9-hour session, and in that session we essentially sieged a town that was holding a VIP that we were trying to bust out. The opposition, they have sand golems.
Nice.
They're immune to anything that is non-magical, and as of right now, I have no means of doing magic damage. But the sand golem is still fucking everybody up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hit him anyways. It doesn't do any damage, but that's not why I hit him, you see. I hit him so I can put my fucking Cavalier mark on him. So the golem would sit there and try to attack people. And because it didn't do any damage, I flavored the way my mark worked, as essentially whenever it tried to punch somebody, I would just skewer its arm with my lance and just pin it in fucking place while everybody else wailed on it, which was hilarious. He is honestly, yeah, Bulwark's my favorite character, hands down. I've had so much of a fucking blast playing him.
Big pair up with Solar in a game of D&D one day.
I think mine is going to be a little underwhelming.
So further, you are awesome.
I think my character is going to be a little underwhelming to talk about now, but I do have one.
Oh boy.
Right, make it quick.
It is very quick, because his story is a very short one. His name is Destin Vermillion of Tweedos. He was a blood hunter in a campaign I played back in 2015, and he is my favorite character because he fully went through the hero's journey. All the way through the entirety of the hero's journey to the untimely death and the spiritual reward. Because earlier in the campaign, he had inadvertently killed a king, which wasn't his intent. And blood hunters throughout the entire kingdom started being hunted as a result and killed on sight. So he went back to the king's son, who had been who had been taken into the Feywild and grew up incredibly fast in like the span of 6 months, and said, "Hey, I'm the one who killed your father. Take me and you've caught me." So he was taken in, tortured, had iron boots strapped to his feet, and thrown into the ocean. And right before he drowned, he saw a vision of his mother, his father, and the woman that he had grown up with and had come to love before the god of death said, "It's your time. You didn't commit this crime. We know it. We're sorry. We can't do anything." And my DM asked me what Destin's final words were, and he said, "I'm at peace."
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like glub 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 because he's like,
No, he was in this sort of like nebulous like other space when he was talking to the god of death, who was
Like
also the god.
basically.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm at peace. I'm fine with this." And he died like. We had been playing for about 10 sessions at that point, and then we had like an additional like almost 20 afterwards. So I had to play a completely different character, but Destin is my favorite because he went through the whole hero's journey in like 10 sessions, and I was so happy.
Okay, then.
nice.
All
Gotta
right.
get that Gilgamesh.
Okay, so I think it's now time that we wrap everything up. And this has been one hell of a podcast, as expected. Thank you for joining, and... Honey, will you please stop dancing? You're distracting me.
You did
Tell
the
her
right.
that we said hi.
Yeah.
You did the right thing.
What happened?
Okay, no, I was trying to like conclude, but I couldn't concentrate because she's like appearing outside and she's doing this dance, and like I can't ignore that.
You're not meant to ignore it.
Keyframe
That was the
doing a dance.
point.
So, anyways, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this huge podcast here. 3 hours. And there hasn't been a podcast this long since there was one with me and Solar on. I think it was Has-Been Hotel and like our top and bottom favorites of season 9 of MLP. But anyways, I'll see you guys next Saturday when we set up our topics. One of which including something that Bliss and Robin are very excited about. That's about to launch tomorrow. We'll talk about it the next Saturday. What was it? Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong.
All right
Well,
then.
I'm just saying it right now. The Big G better fucking win.
All right then. So, with that being said, I will catch you guys later, and I will see you next I will see you next Friday as well as next Saturday. So that way I can do next do another gaming stream. And by the way, this coming Friday when I do another gaming stream, I'm doing Among Us.
Woo!
So
Yeah.